Some things are a matter of doing.
The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough to dispute.
And I was about to take advice from a clown who dives headfirst into the shallow end of the pool.
It's Talk.
If it is, so it is. So it is. So it is. So it is. It's a Tennessee thing. Well, I'm holding on.
Back in the booth, back on the airwaves, coming at you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Happy Monday morning to you, December 1st. There is some chill in the air as we have made it through Thanksgiving. We have made it to December. 11 months down, 1 to go. And this one's going to be long and cold. John Reed, Sam Beard, Bad News Bubba, kicking off your Monday, kicking off your week. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving break. Sam, especially to you, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving break. Good to see you. How are you?
You too, John. You too. Hope you had a good one. I'm feeling solid this morning. Good to be back in here and get after it. Nice few days off to, recharge the batteries or whatever. Watch a little ball, football, basketball, eat some good food, see some family. But we're back into it. We're back into it.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I had a good Thanksgiving. Just went back home. Got to my mom was a little sick, so I didn't see her as much. But went and stayed at my brother's for a little bit. Saw my dad. We've got we call her our aunt, but she's not exactly our aunt. It's this lady that lives in Germany. I feel like I've told you about her before. No?
I don't know. I feel like I would remember a woman from Germany.
We call her our Aunt Renata, but she's not really our aunt. She just my dad was on a study abroad trip, when he was in college, basically, and he met her, and she was basically just guiding him around Germany at this point, and then they've just stayed in touch ever since. And so she comes every couple of years and does Thanksgiving with us. So we had her in town. It was good to see her. Hadn't been a few years since I'd seen her, so that was fun.
Okay, well, that's eventful. What about you, Bubba? Happy late Thanksgiving to you, brother. Happy Monday morning. Hope you're well.
I am alive and in the flesh, Sean.
Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
It was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See any old lovers on Blackout Wednesday? Did you do the whole hey, let's all go out in the local watering hole? And
I ain't got lovers, Sean.
Damn. All right.
I was out there though on Wednesday.
You got any German?
I actually
aunts?
do have a German aunt.
Nice.
She married into the family though.
Nice.
I had a great uncle Walter who was part of military, and then guess he married her overseas, and then came back, and they live in Colorado.
Okay. How about that? I have no German aunt.
Get with the times, man.
We took World War II very seriously in the Reed family. We took it very, very seriously.
Ah, we did too. We took their women.
Yeah. You gave her a way out, I guess. Hey, you can come. You could dump that 0 and get with some heroes. Huh? Okay, well. Good Thanksgiving. I feel like it's been 3 weeks since I've been here.
It has felt long.
It felt like a really long break between, Wednesday not doing a show, but doing a work event on Tuesday night, and then watching Tennessee basketball on Wednesday. That feels like a month ago. The Tennessee-Kansas basketball game feels like a month ago.
I don't even remember that game anymore.
Yeah, like that felt like a terrible loss at the time. But hell, it's barely a blip on the radar after what happened the next couple of days. I mean, Lady Vols got their ass kicked yesterday. That obviously didn't feel like that big of a deal compared to what happened to you on Saturday. It's been a long, 4 or 5 days. A not so good 4 or 5 days. But as far as my Thanksgiving, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Traveled a little bit, laid around. I ate terribly. Not so much like for Thanksgiving, but then like I was on my own from like Friday to Sunday. And I was like, I don't really feel like cooking. I can't really cook. Don't really feel like going out and getting fast food. So I just went and bought me a big charcuterie board and just ate it all day.
You
All
just
like,
survived on meat and cheese for a couple days.
yeah, like Friday night and then all of Saturday, I just ate meat and cheese. That was pretty much
that
it.
works, I guess.
Yeah, it did. But
did it keep you satisfied the whole day?
No, but I snacked on it all day. Like I got breakfast. I went and had some pancakes and an egg sandwich, first thing in the morning. But then, yeah, from like 12 to night, I was just kind of munching on some adult Lunchables throughout the night.
Sounds awesome, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But like I just felt kind of gross at the end of it.
What washed over you to be like, I don't need more meals. I just need crackers and cheese and meat.
I don't know. I was just scrambling because I didn't get any leftovers from Thanksgiving. And I feel like in the past, I've always had leftovers for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any. So I was just kind of scrambling. I was like, do I just go back to eating like regular food? I was like, but I don't really get out. There's not really any fast food like super close to me. So I was like, I don't really want to drive to get any. I don't want to order a pizza. So I picked up some sandwich meat. And as I was picking up the sandwich meat, I said, how about I do one better? Instead of sandwich meat, how about I just get all the meat and cheese and I just eat this the entire time? Because I love it as a snack and for these parties. But I was like, I'll just get one for home. So that's what I did. So it's kind of sad, actually, when I say it out loud. Then I went to, I didn't get to see my ma on Thanksgiving. So we went last night to the Chop House to get a steak, kind of as our Thanksgiving thing. It was pretty mid. I was pretty disappointed by that. For the damn price you pay, I was like, this isn't very good. And I love prime rib, but I was like, Sorry to slander Chop House, but I guess it's not slander if it's true. So coming on this Monday, just a little disoriented, little unsatisfied, did not get the result in my big fantasy league that I needed. In the station league, looks like Bubba's going to walk me down too. This damn Bubba's team just keeps winning.
Bubba's hot.
He's not scored any points again, but he's going to win again. Like
he's Oklahoma.
Yeah, my team didn't score any points. It's like they saw Bubba lined up across, and they all decided, we're not going to be able to play this week.
I just hope my kicker can get more than 3 points today.
Yeah, your kicker's got to get 3 points, which is a chance the Giants, I guess, get shut out or don't kick any field goals, I guess. But yeah, you're almost surely going to walk me down, which then I got to look, and I was like, well, thought I was kind of a lock for the playoffs, but then next week I'm going to have to at least avoid like a bad 3-team parlay, a bad like 4-team parlay. I just need one thing to go my way next week to keep me in the playoffs. Otherwise, that'll be a real fall from grace, and I won't hear the end from last place Cody. So we'll see. But yeah, my big league just didn't get what I needed there. That was tough. So not a good sports weekend for me. Fantasy team. Titans. Oh, my God. That was about as bad of a Titans game as I've watched.
As soon as we didn't go for it on the opening drive, I was just like, this game's over. I knew it was over anyways, probably like 5 or 6 minutes after that. But as soon as we didn't go for that on the opening drive, I was like, come on, man. What do we have to lose?
I would have liked to have seen a second drive without DK fumbling that kickoff, like if we're just down 7-3, because we did look pretty good on the opening drive.
Yeah.
And then after that, like that was the worst Cam Ward's looked all season. Like, so that was a punch to the gut. And then, of course, we know what happened on Saturday. That was about as bad of a loss as you could have. That was a program changer there. That is one that is going to ruin the entire offseason. Vanderbilt walks into your stadium, walks into your trap, takes over your trap, kicks your ass, rubs your nose in it. Diego Pavia will forever have bragging rights. You were not able to spoil their best season ever. which, I took it as kind of insult to injury. They dropped a spot in the AP poll after coming into your stadium and beating you by 21. That's how little the rest of the country thinks of you, is the way I took it. Like, you're seen as an unserious program right now, so much so that Vanderbilt coming in and dismantling you actually hurt their resume. And I understand other teams just had some quality wins that moved them forward, but that's not the way I'm choosing to perceive it. I'm choosing to perceive it as they saw you get your ass kicked by Vanderbilt, and they said, anybody could have done that. And that was insult to injury. Like I said, that was about as bad of a loss as you could have. It's one that makes you question everything. Then you had Joey Aguilar sit up there and take a blowtorch to your practices, which I thought was two-sided. I thought it was bad on both ends. I thought it made the coaches look bad. I also think it made Joey look bad. I don't know if Joey is self-aware enough to know that made him look bad. And I say that just because he's supposed to be the leader of the team. So, like, if your boys aren't practicing hard, like, I think it's kind of a bad look to come out after game 12 and call it out whenever you had a chance to fix it for 12 weeks, 13 weeks, 14 weeks, with bye weeks. I took that as a double-sided, like, man, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth in the Joey Aguilar experience. The way the season ended and the way that, hey, we're all trying to find the guy who did this type of behavior. Like when you're like, oh, the team didn't practice hard. Well, you're a leader, brother. You're the quarterback. And the coaches that are left to kind of have to pick up those pieces and put that back together. I'm glad Joey did it. I'm glad the whistleblower was public, but it is one of those things that is going to make you really reevaluate things. It's going to make you really, really uneasy all off season. We'll dive into it after the break. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to talk about. The game is what it is. It was frustrating in its own right, but the fallout, that's something we're going to have to figure out over the next months. 5, 6, 7, 8 months. It's going to be a long off season. We'll start talking about it and unpacking it after the break. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold wave filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. Come on, grab a pack. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavor. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
The following radio theater is brought to you by Men's Pro Knoxville.
Hey, Dad, can we play football?
No, buddy.
All right.
Pops, want to work out?
Maybe later.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tomorrow?
You've got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you have ED and performance issues, your family, friends, and even your career has already been affected. Book your discreet evaluation at Men's Pro Knoxville and turn your tomorrows into
today.
Yes! Touchdown!
Come on, one more, Dad.
Today!
Push, Dad. One more. Come on, push.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tonight.
Call 865-544-8220 or book now in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, for every man in every season of life.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. and stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Timeless traditions start with the ones we love and what we bring home for the season. Bring Inward Half home this holiday. Comfort and performance, made for the journeys you take and the memories you make. For quiet moments or the days you'll remember forever. From performance polos to cozy hoodies, modern apparel for men, women, and kids. There's something for everyone. This holiday, make tradition comfortable. Make it memorable. Make it Inward Half.
Dick's House of Sport at Westtown Mall is a destination devoted to sport, and it's your destination for exclusive events and experiences. Come visit a store like no other. Check out our 40-foot rock wall, golf performance center, hit tracks batting cage, and outdoor turf field. You can now rent our space for private events and birthday parties. Learn more about our events and exclusive product launches on Facebook and Instagram at Dick's House of Sport KNX. Dick's House of Sport, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics.
Vanderbilt came into Knoxville and stuffed you in a locker. They beat you down 45-24, and now we're left asking what now? What now? If you look at just the game on Saturday, I think there's a lot to critique and a lot to criticize. I just would like to know how you looked at that Vanderbilt team and you came out with that defensive game plan. I would like to know how you looked at Vanderbilt's defense and came out with that offensive game plan. I would like to know the rationale to know that you got the ball first, which means Vanderbilt gets the ball coming out of halftime. Why Josh Heupel decided, we don't need 40, 50, 60 seconds to try to get down the field and score before we give Vanderbilt the ball back. I don't know why we're just going to willingly give them the old double dip, as we call it, which, of course, changed the game. Tennessee goes from up 7 to down 7 before touching the ball again. I truly don't understand Josh Heupel's game management. I truly don't understand the way he calls timeouts, the way he calls field goal, the way he calls, the field position, when he's going to be aggressive, when he's not going to be aggressive, when he's going to try to go get a field goal, when he's not going to try to get a field goal. I truly don't understand. Sam, it goes back to what I said, after the Georgia game. But I couldn't help but think while watching that in the first half, I'm like, oh, wow, he doesn't trust Joey. He doesn't want Joey with the ball at 45 seconds because he saw what happened against Oklahoma when Tennessee did try to go down the field and score.
Yeah, I mean, some of those coaching decisions are, I feel like maybe you give them a pass early in the season when it's early September and you're still working some things out, but final game of the regular season, it still just feels like a lot of these coaching decisions in these kind of critical moments, end of half, end of game, stuff like that. It just feels like we kind of are way too far over our skis.
He coached all year as if he had last year's defense, is what someone said.
I think Shumpert said that, yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to kind of apologies to Shumpert for not giving him credit. But, we talked about that from the get-go. Hey, you can't coach that way anymore. You can't coach as if you could just rely on your defense. And, look, I know a lot of people are mad at me for the whole Tim Banks stuff all season. But, look, I come out of that game feeling vindicated because my point wasn't Tim Banks is good. My point was, hey, this team, scapegoating the defense is wrong. Whenever you look at this team and you're frustrated, you just say defense, defense, defense. I thought you were missing the point. I thought there were warning signs all year that the offense was off and no one wanted to hear it because first in the conference in scoring, Yeah, I don't care about that. I told you all year I didn't care about that. And then you get to the end of the season, your offense couldn't do what it needed to do. Couldn't do it against Oklahoma. Couldn't do it against Vanderbilt. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to reiterate, Tim Banks and the defense were awful on Saturday. They got their ass absolutely kicked. That was about as dumb of a game plan as you could have since you decided to go into Columbus and try to guard their stable of wide receivers one-on-one down the field. Like, that's about as bad of a game plan as you could have. I'm not defending Tim Banks. I am completely fine if they want to fire Tim Banks after the season and go somewhere else, because that's where you're at in this program right now. Is somebody's going to have to be the meat shield. You're not going to fire Josh Heupel, so somebody's got to go. We got to get our pound of flesh, and it might surprise you because I maybe have come across as a Tim Banks supporter or truther or whatever. But again, I think that game plan was bad enough that you should, if you cleaned house and fired everybody, I wouldn't blink an eye. That's Josh Heupel included. If you fired every single coach over there and said, "Hey, that's unacceptable," that'd be harsh. You'd be in a bad place like Kentucky's about to be. But like, hey, I wouldn't say Danny was acting irrationally at all, because that's how bad that loss was. So Tim Banks, that whole defensive staff, like Rodney Garner, he wants to go to Auburn. There's going to be a lot of turnover. Let's just go ahead and just clean house on the entire defensive side of the ball. I got no issue with that. Because like I said, my quote-unquote defense of Tim Banks was really like, hey, this is an offensive team. And that goes back to what we said Shumpert said. You didn't have the 2024 defense. The offense has to be better. We paid Josh Heupel $10 million to have a good offense. I didn't think the offense was good enough outside the first quarter against Georgia all year long. You were able to survive against Mississippi State because the defense made some plays. You were able to survive against Arkansas because the defense made some plays to set up the offense. And then, you're able to run the clock out. You were able to beat Florida up because Florida sucks. Outside of that, your offense wasn't good enough. Your defense wasn't good enough. It was a complete complimentary effort of sucking at football, I thought, from both sides. And I think you put that on the head coach as well, because I thought he was pretty bad this year. I was saying that after the Oklahoma game. I didn't care if we went, 9-3. I still thought he coached pretty poorly this year. And I just look at all the decisions he made in games. You could go reel them off. Georgia game, too conservative. Mississippi State game, too conservative. And then, on Saturday, I just thought it really hit me, Sam. And look, today's going to be a vent session of sorts. When I say that I'd be fine with cleaning house, I do mean that, but that's not me calling for Josh Heupel to be fired. I'm not done with Josh Heupel. I don't want to fire him, mostly because I know we're not going to fire him. So I think it's a futile exercise. But Sam, at the end of the first half, that's the real first time I looked at it and said, man, I'm disgusted by his sight right now. Not the same jokes everyone else makes about the sloppiness. No. But just the demeanor after the roughing the passer, and then the halftime interview heading into the locker room, where he just, golly geez, aw shucks, we got to play better. Oh, we got to quit making stupid mistakes. Just no real fire in the belly. And then, look, you can play the result. You could do whatever. You came out and you got absolutely demolished in the second half. So it ain't like you really went into halftime and had some fire in your belly there. I'm not saying you got to scream at the interviewer. I'm not saying you got to be some maniac, unhinged guy. But like when you give me the opposite of that, when you give me the, oh, well, whatever, this turkey's really got me tired, I can't wait to go to sleep after the game. When you're giving me that energy and then you come out and get demolished in the second half, 24-3, then I'm going to have questions about what the hell happened in the locker room, and I'm going to have questions about you as a motivator.
And your team takes after your coach. Like we see all these, you see any video of any college football coach or any coach out there going and giving a big rah-rah speech, like those guys go and get excited about that. Clark Lee does it to his Vanderbilt team. They're saying on the broadcast he's a guy who knows when to stay calm and knows when to go light a fire under their ass. And Josh Heupel is just a guy who has stayed the exact same ever since he's gotten hired here, no matter how good, no matter how bad. And now that, you've lost this many home games in one season and you just continue to get the exact same response over and over again, it does feel like it's a guy who doesn't necessarily, it comes off like he doesn't care. And then it also, those comments that you see from Joey of, oh, we have it some days, we don't have it others. Like, to me, that's pretty congruent with the way that Josh Heupel, kind of his attitude is on the day-to-day.
Yeah, that's 100% fair. And Look, I don't think you always have to be the rah-rah screaming guy. Like you said with Clark Lee, like he knows when to do it. I do think it's effective whenever you're kind of quiet, for most of the time. Then when it's time to push the button, you go out and flip the switch. Like I'm sure Kirby Smart and Dan Lang just yell at their players all the time and do that whole motivating thing. And, it is what it is. Whenever you win big games and you put the clips out, it sounds really cool. You don't really see the coaches put those clips out when they lose. So, I'm sure there's plenty of rah-rah guys yelling at you in the locker room that their team's not good enough or they're not coaching good enough and they lose. We don't hear about them. But, it's everything all together. It's the halftime stuff. It's not having the fire in your belly when it comes to your offense, getting back on the field and trying to be aggressive and go down and get points. And then it's like losing 24-3 in the second half where you do look like just lethargic. And the whole vibe was off everywhere. The stadium didn't feel right. The players didn't look motivated in the third quarter. Tim Banks didn't look like he had made any adjustments. Maybe we just don't have any linebackers that can spy quarterbacks. Maybe that's a bigger issue. Is hey, God bless you, Arian Carter. You're a warrior, but maybe you're just not fast enough to cover Diego Pavia. Maybe you weren't fast enough, on your hurt foot to go out there and chase down John Mateer. Maybe we just don't have any horses. Try something different. For God's sake, at least Andre Turrentine, if he's not going to cover anybody out there, maybe he could be a spy. It doesn't have to be a linebacker. You can spy with the defensive back. Let's try something different. For God's sake, do something different. But, with hindsight being 45-24, the very first play of the game, Carter had a chance to absolutely unload on Pavia, to absolutely destroy him, set the tone, send the message, and he pulled off. And he didn't put the quarterback on the ground. And I'm not trying to single out Carter because, like I said, he's a warrior. I got no beef with him. He's just on the bad end of some highlight plays because he can't move around out there. And when your quarterback's running all over, you're going to ask about where the linebacker is. Especially after what happened with Mateer. We saw him get juked out by Ty Simpson. He couldn't move this year, but he played through it. And I give him, 100% credit for that. So like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm singling him out because he's the last person over there that I feel like should be singled out because at least he cares. But you gotta put Pavia down in the dirt on that first play. Somebody that's ran their mouth the entire offseason, somebody who is the head of the snake over there, you come right up the middle, and maybe it wasn't the first actual play, maybe it was just the first third down, maybe it was the first drive. You pull off, you don't want a penalty. I get it. But at a certain point, sending a message is more important than a first down. It just looks soft, and then I watch the team play soft. So it's going to go back. I'm going to go back and point out from the beginning. Oh, yeah, they were soft the entire time. There definitely wasn't some rah-rah speech, since we're on that subject, before the game about proving Pavia wrong. You know what I mean? Because if there was, you're going to take that opportunity, you're going to blow him up. You're going to hit him and take the chance that the refs throw the flag. But either way, you're going to bring that stadium alive, you're going to bring the team alive, and you didn't do it. And the team played soft for 60 minutes. They coached soft, they played soft. And like I said, it's one that completely changes your program trajectory. It changed the offseason 1,000%. You've been talking about the culture a lot, Sam, and how the last two games would tell you what the culture looked like. You passed that test against Florida, but hell, that was probably more about Florida having 3 wins and being completely lifeless. Because now I don't know how many questions I have about the culture because I got a feeling unfortunately that we have the answers about the culture of the program.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to walk out of that game and feel better about the culture of Vanderbilt's team.
Oh, 1,000%.
Tennessee,
like Clark Lee getting that big extension, then coming in and beating you up that way. If I'm Vanderbilt, I do feel like it's our state.
Yeah.
And I do feel like our arrows pointed up with or without Pavia.
And to me, I think with, everyone has thought that with kind of this open market in the transfer portal, it's just hey, open checkbook, you can go and win games. And to me, it's almost the opposite of coaching gets magnified even more in these in this situation. And it's you see what Indiana's able to do. Yes, they have money, but you just get a coach in the right situation with the right mentality in there and you get that. And Vanderbilt's kind of done the exact same thing. And It just feels like you don't have the right mentality in the building right now with your coaching staff. And I think that bleeds over into your roster.
Yeah, you can't just throw money at things and fix it. Florida tried that. LSU tried that. Their coaches didn't have it. Those players didn't believe in those coaches. Look what happened to both of them. I know Tennessee, that's going to be the solution. Hey, we're just going to revamp the roster, transfer portal heavy. That's not going to fix these things. Now, I talked about Brian Kelly. I talked about Billy Napier. Those guys died on the vine. Those guys got beheaded this season because they still couldn't win. I don't think that has to be Josh Heupel's fate here. Like, I do think there's a way to get some guys in the locker, get some guys on the coaching staff that could maybe change this. Maybe Josh Heupel could do some soul searching himself and come back a little bit more, focused and sharp and aggressive. But I've said that all season. I got to be consistent. When the writing's on the wall with a lot of these coaches, very rarely do they play themselves off the hot seat. And make no mistake, as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of the fan base, these coaches are on the hot seat heading into next year. And it might not even be like a hot seat like where you're going to get fired, but it's a hot seat where the fan base is going to check out. And at that point in new age college football, that might as well be, one that gets you fired. You can't survive a fan base not being bought into the coach. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen a lot at this point. I've been doing this for over 10 years, which sounds kind of crazy, but I've watched the way this can, unplays. And I know that a lot of the fan base is mad today, but they'll be fine. So, like when I say on the hot seat, when I say lost the fan base, I know people are really frustrated today, but for a good portion of the fan base will be okay. By the time January rolls around, signing day, when you get a new defensive coordinator in here, a lot of people will look at that and say, hey, everything's okay. 8-4 is not so bad. But there is a growing portion of the fan base that has been lost. Not the majority. Not the majority. And I don't know how vocal it'll get. It won't get as ugly as it did for Butch in 2017 when you were in a similar position coming off of getting dominated by Vanderbilt. Where you looked and said, a couple things are going to be different. We're going to get a new quarterback in here. The offense will be a little bit more well-rounded, yada, yada, yada. Like, for the most part, people got back on board with Butch despite the cringe comments he made all offseason. That kind of kept him under fire. But there were still plenty of people that thought, we'll give the season a chance. I don't even think it'll get that ugly for Heupel. But when you combine Vanderbilt beating you by 21, when you combine that with, the growing cost of football, I think fans feel more entitled than ever before. And I'm not even saying entitled in a bad way. I know entitled has a negative connotation. When you hear somebody's entitled, you think of like spoiled kids or brats. I say Tennessee fans are entitled to better results, and I don't mean that in a negative connotation. I mean it as a matter of fact. All college football fans are going to look around and ask, like, you want all this money, you want all this investment, you want this, this, and this. Well, the stakes are going to get higher. The stakes are going to get higher, and it's going to be a loud, gross offseason. Bad news, Bubba. Haven't heard from you yet about the game. What was your takeaway, either from Saturday or the big picture?
From Saturday, I mean, we just kind of, put things delicately, kind of peed down our leg a little bit here. First half, vibes were okay. You got two big turnovers. But then you kind of stall out just a little bit. Second half, completely unacceptable. Mike Matthews, not worth the money, which I think big picture makes things difficult long-term to keep players in and out, because now it's like, do we even bother with the risk of these guys asking for more money whenever they will possibly, nothing's ever known, but not proving their worth.
Any player that tries to hold out this year better be David Sanders or like Braylon Staley. Like, to me,
I don't want Brandon Staley to try to do this whole hold up ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not either, and I hope both those guys get because everybody gets a raise. Everybody gets a raise. Everyone renegotiates, but like I don't need it publicly. Like I think Staley is good. I think Staley did things the right way. I think Staley was reliable. If they want to give him some more money behind the scenes, cool. Like let's not drag this out in public. Like I don't think anybody on this team really is in a position to have a public battle with Tennessee over money. Like even David Sanders, like, bro, like you've been highly paid. You weren't able to play all year, and I'm not blaming you for that. The body's a weird thing. I get that, but like you better not even come out and publicly do this just because I don't think there's anybody on this team right now that has earned that right to win like the public PR battle after the way the team has played. And the fans ain't going to be on their side with it. I guarantee you that.
The one thing like I absolutely hate in all this situation is like the coach speak that comes out of this, and like all the post game pressers and stuff like that. But also, it's like, what do I want them to say? Because it's like, you're watching. It's like, yeah, guys miss key blocks or there's drops, and it's all about the small details. But then, I don't know. I wish there's something more to pinpoint.
Yeah, there's nothing to me that the coaches could say after a loss that would satisfy me, that would soothe me. Even if the coach comes out and is like, hey, this is all on me. I sucked. I did this. This is unacceptable. That doesn't go anywhere for me. That doesn't do anything. Like there's nothing that Josh Heupel could have said on Saturday that would have really like made me feel better, short of him like breaking down and crying and talking about like, I'm so under so much stress. I'm so sorry. I just got with a therapist and I'm going to be better. Like if it did a whole like song and dance like that, maybe like, oh, okay, Josh. But like none of the like own it, put it on me. None of that matters.
Isn't that kind of the point though? He's lulled you to sleep with what he says after every single loss, where a loss to Vanderbilt is the exact same thing as losing to, Georgia 2 or 3 years ago against a national championship team that you were totally outmatched. Like it makes sense in 21 and 22 to say, hey, well, we didn't really
just got to execute.
Yeah, we just got to execute better. And it's like, all right, well, down the line, this team will get better. Yeah, we'll execute better and that'll happen. But when you're sitting there in year 5 and you have a chance to go knock Vanderbilt out of the playoff, you can't just say, oh, we just didn't do the little things right. We got to execute. Like that is what goes and wins a football game. So you can't just continue to say, well, you just got to do the little things better. Like that is coaching better.
I understand what you're saying, but I ask you, what could he have said that would have made you feel better about the loss?
Losses like this are unacceptable within our program, and we've continued to make the same mistakes every single loss so far this year, and that's the reason why we're not in the college football playoff this year. And we're just be honest, say that you're doing it to yourself, and just quit saying like, well, if we just do this one thing a little bit better, we'll be right back there next week.
See, my thing is like he could come out and own it. It doesn't change the fact you got your ass kicked, and it doesn't change the fact that we're all going to doubt that you're going to get it fixed. You know what I mean? So that he could handle it better and say better things, Sam, but I'm just saying it wouldn't actually make me feel better is all I'm saying. Like nothing a coach says after a win or a loss, short of like, the footage that comes out of you in the locker room screaming, doing all this, like short of that, like I tune out every coach because even the ones that come out and hit the table and say, it's on me, we're going to fix it. Like, that's only worked one time to my knowledge. And that was when Tim Tebow said up there about Ole Miss, crying, saying, this will never happen again. No one's going to play as hard as we do. No one's going to work as hard as we do. And, like, that actually worked. They actually owned up to it. They came out. They won a national championship. It's been immortalized. Everything else, like when Dabo sits up there and does his thing, and we just laugh at it. And he owns it. It's like, oh, we're going to get it fixed. I'm a champion, blah, blah, blah. And then we laugh at him and we'll see. Like, oh, yeah, we'll see when you do it. So that's just what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't actually make me feel better. But, like, the golly gee stuff, like I said, that probably is worse than anything.
Like, I guess I'm kind of with you in terms of, like, whatever they're going to say on the podium doesn't make you feel any better or worse. But just, like,
I didn't even watch it. Yeah.
Showing that you have the competitive fire instead of just laying down and just rolling over and getting your ass kicked and being like, all right, well, we just got to execute better. We'll continue to practice harder. Well, the season's over, guys. Like, figure something out.
Yeah, I mean, execute better is all fine and dandy, but like to me, execute is in football, especially from coaches. I feel like when you say we got to execute better, that is downplaying everything. To me, football is not about execution. You could say it is. To me, it's not. Maybe basketball. Like if Rick Barnes said we got to execute, we got to make some shots, I'll listen. To me, football is about running through somebody's face, like Marshawn Lynch said.
Effort.
Yeah, it is not execution. It is effort. It is want to. It is just simply. We all know, like, hey, the players got to make plays. We got to know that, but like everything has to be better.
Who wants it more?
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I mean, you laugh, but like to me, that is what football is. Like it is it. And maybe that's an archaic way of thinking. Maybe that's a caveman, uneducated way of thinking. But like when I watch it, like it looked like Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia wanted it more. Now, was there something that like schematically we were doing wrong that they were doing right? Yeah, sure. But like also like, hey, safety, come up and blow up that block. Somebody come up and blow that up. Yeah, they might have it blocked properly. But guess what? If you come in and do your job, you can blow that up. Hey, if the defensive line is firing off the ball, they might have the right calls played, but guess what? They couldn't execute them because you wanted it more. And like I said, I acknowledge that football is more complicated than that. But like to me, it comes down to just want to. You talked about Georgia in 22. Hell, Georgia in 21, 23, all those, whatever. Like I can look at a Georgia loss and say, you know what? They just got so much more talent than we do.
Georgia in 25.
Georgia in 25. Man, they just got so much more talent. See, Georgia in 25, I didn't look at it and say it was a talent thing. I looked at that as like, hey, it was your team just kind of maybe that one did kind of come down to execution. Like you couldn't actually make the plays when you had to. But like, like it wasn't, like execution. Whenever Josh Heupel says it to me, thinks of like, hey, we're calling the right plays. Players just got to play a little better. And I don't think it's that simple.
I think it's 90% of coaching, though. Like hearing guys in the high school level, they're just like, yeah, we called the play. The guy just didn't line up right. And it's like, well, how do you as a coach help your player understand where to line up right in these situations?
Yeah, to me, like, but yeah, like you're right. And when I do think of high school coaches saying that, like, every high school coach is better than the other one, right? Oh, they just got better talent than us. We called the right plays. We just didn't execute them. Like that to me is just passing the buck. When the coaches sit there and say you got to execute better, that's passing the buck. It is just simply a motivation thing. You got better players in Vandy. You have them coached up. You have them ready to run through a wall. You could figure out the nuances of your scheme afterwards. Like to me, that should have been the starting point. But we've bloviated about it for a while. If you have anything you want to say, you could comment on the YouTube page. We, of course, will read the best comments. You can also call us next segment, 865-966-3435. If you want your voice to be heard, we'll continue the conversation throughout the day. So if you can't call this next segment, maybe you can call a little bit later in the show because it's a Tennessee football, at least for 2025, it's an autopsy. Hopefully this isn't something that we look at as the weekend that Tennessee football died, this era of Tennessee football, the Josh Heupel tenure. But that loss to Vandy is one of those that you look at and said, yep. If Josh Heupel doesn't turn around, it's one that you say, yep, should have pulled the plug there. It was obvious he didn't have it there. Does it usually work out for colleges to keep that coach around and see if they can fix it? No, not really ever. But maybe it'll work for us. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Dick's House of Sport at Westtown Mall is a destination devoted to sport, and it's your destination for exclusive events and experiences. Come visit a store like no other. Check out our 40-foot rock wall, golf performance center, Hit Tracks batting cage, and outdoor turf field. You can now rent our space for private events and birthday parties. Learn more about our events and exclusive product launches on Facebook and Instagram at Dick's House of Sport KNX. Dick's House of Sport, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics.
Are you tired of spending hours on laundry and ironing? Let Crown Cleaners handle your dry cleaning so you can handle your business. Our expert team can take care of your clothes, removing stains and wrinkles like they were never there. Whether it's your best suit or everyday attire, we handle it all at Crown Cleaners. Say goodbye to laundry stress and hello to extra free time. Crown Cleaners, Big Orange Country's imperial dry cleaning service since the 1960s. Online at crowncleaners.com.
Waste.
Back in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios, drink the light, refreshing White Claw Hard Seltzer. Checking in on the freaks over on YouTube. Huge blessing Saturday. Lost my phone in the yard and promised the kids I'd take them to a Christmas tree lighting. I wasn't able to watch or keep track of the second half. Well, good for you, Eric. That's good. It's good timing. How did that feel whenever you did eventually see what happened? Were you shocked? Did you feel like it was coming? Because watching the game, seeing that they were able to score that touchdown, and look, I thought that was a pretty weak roughing the passer, but also think it was one of those that like emotions had already started boiling up. I think Joseph's kind of got away with the taunts earlier on Pavia on a questionable hit. So I think that you knew that they were going to start calling things. So like, hey, I didn't like the roughing the passer, but it's a rivalry game. They were going to try to take control of that game.
I feel like that was just not a roughing the passer at all. Even still, like, I mean, I know that in this situation, you don't want to use it, or you don't want your guys to even like deal with that, but I don't know.
If you wanted to hit Pavia, like I said, you had chances to hit Pavia earlier in the game.
So I want a drama king on my team. Somebody that's going out there willing to just, you know what, I'll take the suffering from coach if I can just get out here and just lay this guy out here, push his head down in the dirt.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said, if you wanted to hit Pavia, do it on the first drive of the game when you have a free rusher up the middle and you pull off of it. Don't do it before half or it costs you 4 points. It's like the Titans yesterday. You want to hit Trevor Lawrence? There's times to hit Trevor Lawrence, not with 1 second left in the half when they're rolling out and the half's about to be over, but you get a roughing the passer that gives them a field goal. There has to be some situational awareness. And like I said, if you want to say it's a questionable roughing the passer, that's fine. But like the only thing that was questionable to me was like making that decision at the end of the half. It's all about situational awareness. You have to know it's 3rd and long. You have to know that they're not really going to throw the ball short because they don't have any timeouts. Like you just
got to execute better.
if Heupel had said that, like, hey, we didn't call the roughing the passer play, like if they didn't execute that play, I'd actually listen to him there. But like, Heupel teams have been undisciplined and sloppy. That's been a talking point since Central Florida. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's grab Garrick. Garrick, top of the morning to you. The floor is yours. Garrick.
Hey, John, it's Garrett. How we doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Hey, doing well. So, look, we can talk about that game. That was just awful. I want to more talk about what's got to be done in the offseason. I think you're right. There's got to be a head to roll. And if it's Tim Banks, I think it's justified. Look, he had a great defense last year. I think he leaned on a very senior defensive line unit. But, look, I think his lack of recruiting safeties and safety plays alone and his whole entire tenure here warrants him getting fired. And if he's the fall guy, he's the fall guy. It is what it is. Should have been better. Strength and conditioning. Got to get better there. Blow the whole thing up. We're hurt all the time. Our guys aren't big, aren't fast as they should be. Yeah, if this doesn't light a fire underneath Josh Heupel's rear end, I don't know what will. I think it's officially hot seat time in Tennessee. And if anything other than 9 wins next year, I think we're into the 26th season.
Garrick, appreciate the phone call, brother. Go Vols. Thanks for getting us started. 865-966-3435. I mean, 9 wins against that schedule next year, probably going to make you a playoff team. We'll see if it gets expanded to 16, but like that's the thing about the schedule next year is it's not going to be easier than this year. I'd feel vindicated about that as well. I thought the schedule was really easy, for an SEC standards, not Texas A&M easy, of course, but like it was manageable, and you managed your way to 8 wins out of it, and that is a big time failure. I talked about doing this for a while, over 10 years at this point. I had hoped we were past the strength and conditioning portion of yelling about our program in that regard. Not saying Garrick is wrong, but like that was a huge talking point during the Butch era. Oh, the strength and conditioning. Oh, we got to get the program fixed. The players are hurt. The players are small. Dooley, they were fat. Butch made them small and athletic. And then you just realize, oh, wait, that's too small in the SEC. I'd hope that, Pruitt, the SEC coach, had at least changed us, moving forward. Then you start getting the 4 and 5 stars in with Heupel. I'd hope that we'd gotten past the blaming the strength and conditioning coach, but here we are. Time's a flat circle. December 1st, 2025. It's time to get some meatheads in there. And again, that's not me saying Garrick is wrong, saying Garrick is wrong. And it might not be fair, but I saw a picture of our strength coach. He didn't really look like a strength coach. And like I said, it might be fair and it's easy for me to say, but I want my strength coach to look like what Coach Q looked like at Tennessee. Like our basketball strength coach has
Coach
looked like.
G, yeah.
Like our basketball strength coach is always even going back to the Conzo days when we had, was it Nicodemus, I think was his name. Like that guy was pause and all that, but he looked like a god. Like he looked like a Greek god. Like he looked like he was supposed to. He looked like somebody that if he gave me, workout advice, I'd listen to. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be able to accomplish this, but yeah, you look like you know what you're talking about.
I do think some changes need to be made on defense, but also I think you could make a case for firing Joey Halsley and getting an offensive coordinator who has a little bit more of conviction kind of in those play calls and stuff like that. And, you just have heard all of the things about how the transition between, Golish and Heupel was one in which Heupel had a lot of trust in Golish and maybe didn't need as much of the, yeah, this play's good, go do that. Whereas Halsley kind of feels like you need permission from the boss man. And it's like, is that something that you change up that takes Josh Heupel a little bit off of the offense and he can be a little bit more of a head coach?
When you're a wing and you're programmer about the Clemson is basically just a whole bunch of Dabo yes men that have all basically gotten the job because they either know Dabo or played at Clemson. Like you point that stuff out when you're 7-5. Whenever Tennessee made the playoff last year, the offense wasn't great last year, but hey, it's all right. Way to adapt. No one really cared too much about Joey Halzle. You go 8-4. You look like you've slipped when it comes to game managing and knowing when and what to do. Then yeah, it's time to look from the outside and get some new voices in here. You need a new offensive coordinator. I tweeted it. I'll say it again. I'm available, not to call offensive plays, but like I'll get out there and at least call timeouts for you, Josh. I'll yell at the refs for you. I honestly think I can motivate the team pretty good. I think I'm a pretty good public speaker. I think I can work up a good promo to get the boys fired up. And also my facial hair doesn't look great. And I'm pretty husky like you, Josh. So like when they show us on the sideline, I'll detract that attention from you. I'll be your meat shield. Well, they'll be like, "Oh, that guy's sloppy. Gross." They're saying that about you now, coach, but I'll take that. I'll take those bullets for you. So yeah, put me on staff. I'll help you. But you need new voices in there 100%. You need new voices on defense, which I think you're going to get. Either by hook or by crook. Like, I don't think Tim Banks is going to be back, whether that's you firing him or that's him finding a different job like at Virginia Tech with his buddy James Franklin. Your defensive line, I feel like everyone's is pretty much pointing to Garner getting back to Auburn, which would be kind of funny if Golesh, calls him and gets him. Because that was like what everybody said about Golesh after he left, right? Like the narrative got spun to, yeah, Golesh is good, but man, nobody really likes him. He's a jerk. Golesh is hard to be around. He's hard-headed, yada, yada, yada. If you came in and poached your best coach, that'd be kind of funny. But it very well may happen. Like, it's going to be a long offseason. It's going to have a lot of conversation around it. That first hour was draining. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel good that we're here. I fully expected to beat Vanderbilt and be talking about, hey, that's a pretty good end of the season. Good job. Not only did you lose to Vanderbilt, you got exposed by Vanderbilt. We'll continue the conversation in hour 2 because hour 1 is over. We'll give you some news at the top of the hour. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans. Fan Run Radio.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together. Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Hey, Pack Rat. Yeah, you. Are you moving cross country and you just don't know who to call? Call us right now. Listen, you've probably seen one of our containers in your neighborhood, but did you know that we can help you move anywhere in the United States? It's real simple. We'll drop a container off at the location you tell us to bring it to. You pack up your valuable possessions at your leisure. They stay safe right in your home. And when you're ready, call us. We'll come and pick up the container and give you a scheduled date of when your furniture and the other possessions will be at your new home. So if you're moving across country or across town, be a Pack Rat. Join the Pack Rat family. Call Pack Rat right now for your free quote. See y'all later, Pack Rats.
Call 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. 800-965-1298. That's 800-965-1298.
It was an unmitigated disaster. It was coaching malpractice.
You're listening to Talk Sports.
Everything that could have gone wrong seemed like it went wrong. It seemed like no one had answers. And like I said, the most depressing part of it was it seemed like no one really cared.
Airing every day
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And to me, this is one of those things. It's like, I don't know if he should be fired, but if he was a fireman, I feel like he just brought gasoline to the blaze instead of a water hose. If he was a nurse, it's like he just pulled the plug on a healthy patient. If he was a waiter, he just peed in the kid's lemonade. You get the point. You compare it to other occupations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying he should be fired, but this is a pretty bad offense.
1340 WKGN.
I feel like if you pulled the plug on a healthy patient, they would just live. Like if you pulled my plug right now, like my heart would keep beating.
You get the point. A good point by you, but you understand what I was going for here.
Hour number 2 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Let's hit some hour 2 headlines. Let's talk a little news. Maybe a little palate cleanser of sorts after that first hour. Sam, what do you got for me?
Do you want to save the coaching stuff or just separate all the hires?
No, run through the hires. It'll be fine. We can always circle back around to them.
Okay.
I'm right now reading through the hashtag release the Lanestein files.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
Lane is out here trying to run through all these Ole Miss girls, apparently.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin officially on his way out of Ole Miss to LSU. And yeah, there has been some funny Twitter discourse on the way out about Lane Kiffin Snapchatting a bunch of college-age girls. I saw a few tweets about how Juice, the dog, isn't even like owned by Lane Kiffin. It's just like someone else handles it basically, and it's just kind of been like a mascot for Lane Kiffin, and it's not actually his dog.
Okay.
I respect these Ole Miss fans for kind of
I would respect Lane Kiffin
much.
I would respect Lane Kiffin much more if I found out that wasn't his dog, especially not his dog's Twitter account. Like, because it was really, really cringy on Saturday. He was like, "Where are we going to go, Dad?" or whatever he said. Like, I was like, "What the hell is this guy doing here?" But I would actually hope that wasn't him. But they are after Lane Kiffin. They are going scorn lovers. But the wait is over. Turns out Nick Saban, Pete Carroll, and God all really hate Ole Miss. That's who Lane Kiffin said he needed to talk to about his decision, and God told him, "Hey, not only do you leave, let's burn this down. Let's leave while threatening to like poach their entire roster and coaching staff and giving out ultimatums. Let's burn this down to the ground, my son." Which I think is funny because Lane Kiffin is just who he's always been. And it's going to be really funny watching the national media that gave him a complete like PR makeover over the last couple of years. That was clearly just trying to manufacture a new star. That's the thing I don't like about national college football media members is like 90% of the job is just being like, "Oh, wow, this is so quirky. Isn't it college football so quirky, everybody? Oh, this is such a crazy sport. That's like what 90% of it is. And Lane Kiffin's the perfect coach for that. Like, oh, he's so funny. He's such a good troll on Twitter. Look at this. He tweeted, "Come to the sip." Oh, isn't he so quirky? Lane, his daughter. He's making fun of his daughter's boyfriend. He's so quirky. Look at him as a changed man. He does yoga now. He doesn't drink soda and he likes yoga. Then it turns out he's the same scumbag he's always been.
I'm interested to see like where he hops next. You know how he can't get too much higher than LSU.
Alabama. He's got Alabama, maybe Texas or the NFL. I
don't think he'll get like the Nick Saban seal of approval for Bama though, with the way that he kind of showed him the door leaving Alabama.
See, I don't know, man, because like I don't know if they fixed the relationship or they just have the same agent, so now they're buddies. But like, what happened on Saturday was downright shameful. It was like CAA put the hit out to all of their employees, all of the people they represent, because every single media member, Nick Saban, everyone was out there like, let Lane finish what he started. Let Lane coach. He deserves it. Meanwhile, Nick Saban wouldn't let him coach because he had a Florida Atlantic job. Like, he wouldn't let him coach a championship game because Lane was going to go be a head coach at Florida Atlantic. And he said, well, just go ahead and go now, buddy. But meanwhile, Nick Saban's up there trying to tell us that Ole Miss should let him run the show after he's accepted to go to their rival for an equal position. Get the hell out of here, Nick Saban, you fraud. It was just shameful. That was really like Marty Smith. Have some damn pride. Like I know that your whole thing is, oh, you're the good old boy. You're the NASCAR guy who's willing to do fun stuff, and you like college football is so quirky. Look at this. We're eating biscuits and gravy out here at this tailgate. But like for you to be holed up in Oxford, trying to do a whole, I'm still here, and you weren't even the one that broke the news. Like, what were you doing out there? What was the point of that, Marty? I texted Lane. He didn't text back. Have some pride, man. Have some pride. You didn't even get to break the news. You got one little 5-minute conversation as he was getting on the airplane.
I just had some grits in the Ole Miss facility.
That's his whole. Yeah, look at me. I'm a country boy, and I like Marty Smith, but that was shameful what ESPN was doing out there. That was real shameful. But is it college football so quirky? You don't get this in other sports. No, another fan. Try that Nick Sirianni and see what happens. The Eagles fans would have killed him. The Eagles fans would have found Big Dom and had him strung up.
Tennessee's old rival finds a new coach as Tulane's John Summerall has landed the Florida job. You didn't get Lane Kiffin. I like that meme of like you thought you had Five Guys money, but you didn't, type of thing with like the Peanuts. They thought they had Lane Kiffin and they've got John Summerall instead.
John Summerall it is, little bro.
Yeah. I think John Summerall will be pretty good, but I do think a lot of Florida fans are just having PTSD right now with going from G5 coach to G5 coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, I won't act like John Summerall will or won't be good, but like he's off to a bad start just because he's John Summerall. That's a tough place to dig yourself out of whenever the fan base is already disappointed with you. He might be a stud, but like I am going to side pretty much for all the Group 5 coaches. You're going to have to prove me wrong in today's climate just because, like you're at Tulane. You got a pretty good recruiting base there. And that's what I said about Billy Napier too. Like, hey, you have advantages, at your level. You should have won more at your level compared to your oppositions because, like, hey, you can just recruit New Orleans, man, and be in good shape. But also, like, you don't know what it's like to have to be on an equal playing field. Because, like, Tulane had correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, didn't they have a big NIL budget too? I mean, they were out there poaching quarterbacks and stuff, right?
In terms of, like, where they're at, yeah, they were doing pretty good.
Yeah, like, they had the best in the conference, I would say, or at least one of. And now you're going to go to Florida where you're just another program. I'm gonna bet that he does not win enough to make them happy. And also just like managing the roster and egos that you're going to have to. I just think that's a completely different game than at the G5 level. So it's not even a Florida bias. I'm just going to assume that every Group 5 coach coming up is going to fail. Not saying they will automatically, but they're going to have to prove me wrong before I change my mind.
Kentucky fires Mark Stoops after 13 seasons.
Boy. I mean, like the timing on this, if I'm a Kentucky fan, I'm like, what the hell have we been waiting on? Because look, here's the thing about the coaching cycle. One of my big takeaways is that all these schools that nuked their seasons probably wasn't worth it. Right? Like, I mean, like if you're Arkansas, do you think you would have gone 2-10 if you didn't fire Sam Pittman? Maybe you still would have, but like you can't tell me things got better without Sam Pittman. I feel pretty confident that Florida would have done better had they not fired Billy Napier down the stretch. They ended up beating Florida State, right? They won that game, so they ended up at 4-8. Like I think they still would have maybe found a fifth win. They wouldn't have gotten embarrassed by Kentucky with Billy Napier because the team quit whenever they fired their coach. The only one that I feel like this worked out for was like Virginia Tech, and that's just because James Franklin fell in their lap. But every other team that went out and fired their coach early, like nobody got an interim coach bump. No one started winning games, and no one really got to get there and hire the coach early. They just got more madness and more frustration. And actually, I think it backfired for everybody. Arkansas being so early to the party and then coming out with Ryan Silver, how he says his name? What's his name?
Silverfield.
Silverfield, yeah.
That's a terrible hire.
I bet it said Satterfield, but like Silverfield, like to end up with him after waiting for months. If you had ran out, if you fired Sam Pittman like last week and you come out with Ryan Silverfield this week, I think people would be like, you know what? It's pretty underwhelming, but we didn't have time to let our mind run wild. Where like John Gruden was our floor. Oh, Dabo. What about the Dabo rumors? Yeah, what about Brandon Walker and all those guys like pumping up Arkansas's hot, search? Like, if what I'm hearing out of Fayetteville is true, wow, good for the Hogs. Okay, well, you ended up at Ryan Silverfield. You couldn't even get, out, goalless. You couldn't get to the finish line with him. Even though you were at the table before Auburn was, you still couldn't get it done.
I think Ryan Silverfield was about like their ninth option. I think they were like James Franklin, Rhett Lashley.
Sure. Yeah.
John
I mean, Alex Golish.
Matt Campbell.
I mean, Golish had came out on Friday that they had hired Golish, but
Yeah.
like he was like, nope, never mind. Auburn's going to get serious about me. So maybe you could say Auburn.
That's
like
what I was going to say is I feel like Auburn's kind of a winner because they fired Freeze. They didn't win, but they looked better with Durkin.
Yeah.
And then like you kind of go and get one of the top candidates.
And I guess they're going to make Durkin stay around and coach the defense.
I don't know if that's necessarily been
confirmed or not.
Yeah.
Okay. I know that they were talking about that.
Yeah.
If you're goalish, you don't care. Like you're at South Florida, you got some good money, like whatever. I'll run the offense, you run the defense, big bro. Works for me. But yeah, like Auburn, they fired Freeze and they were able to put that distraction to bed. And they did play better football down the stretch. So maybe you could say them and Virginia Tech. Now I don't know if Auburn win any games that they wouldn't have won.
Not really.
No, but they did look better in the offense, at least add signs of life.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone else, I think, just shot themselves in the foot and like derailed the season even more and didn't really like have anything to show for it. Like UCLA fired their coach in like what, week 3? They still don't have a coach, right? Like,
yeah.
I guess they maybe are going. They got the Penn State win, like that's fine. Like maybe they had a little bit of a boost for like a couple weeks, but like it didn't help them getting to the market first. Like they didn't get to hire anybody. I think James Madison's coach has been linked there.
Yeah.
But like that wasn't like a one that you were able to lock in because you got there early. Why wouldn't they just hire somebody like John Gruden?
UCLA?
Yeah. Can't afford him?
I would imagine money's not really the issue for Gruden.
You wouldn't think so. But he did get screwed out of that $100 million contract, but he is in the middle of that lawsuit. Yeah. Like maybe he's going to get a lot of that back, but like I don't think he'd be willing to coach for free. He's probably got a pretty good gig. You know what I mean? Like he's probably pretty happy otherwise.
I feel like I saw USF fans after the goalish stuff saying, "Hey, let's get Gruden because he's just like in Tampa.
He's beloved in Tampa." That would be interesting. Like the pressure wouldn't be very high. You could probably rally some fan base there, and you wouldn't be going up against like the big time, money in the big time schools. It'd be interesting. I've never really bought him as a college coach, like actually wanting to do it.
Any other headlines?
We'll go with one more head coaching hire as Michigan State fired Jonathan Smith and plans to hire Pat Fitzgerald, former Northwestern coach who hasn't coached since 2022 after that hazing scandal back in 23, but was the longest tenured head coach in Northwestern history. 110 and 101 record from 2006 to 2022 with them. So taking over a pretty bad Michigan State team that Jonathan Smith did not do very good with. I kind of like this. I feel like Pat Fitzgerald is going to be a guy who kind of rehabilitates himself.
Bubba, anything to add?
Yeah, there's a questionable occurrence that happened between the Lady Vols and the UCLA Bruins yesterday.
Just where there's no handshake, no dap in
They
the
shook
on the line.
hands. She just didn't want to hug her or get too close to her. And then the coach has to shoulder shrug, make a smirking face, and then keep going and then say, wow.
What's the story there? Like they recruited over?
Well, she transferred from UCLA.
Well, no, I know, but like she was at UCLA.
I have no idea.
I saw someone say that like she was at UCLA and then like basically the coach recruited, like brought a transfer in over her that was better, that like kind of got the thing. So then she left. Like I don't know. Like I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on the
I feel
politics.
like you can't get mad at that in today's world of transfer portal.
Yeah.
Like
no, but you also don't have to like
someone else if you want.
But you also don't have to hug the coach either if you feel like they lied to you.
Sure. Maybe she's a germaphobe.
But she did shake hands with her. She just didn't hug her.
Yeah, like at the very beginning, like
Yeah.
she shook hands, and then it looked like the coach like brought up her left hand to like maybe like pat her on the back or whatever, and then she just kept going, didn't even look her way. So
We also got like 20 piece too. Maybe she's just pissed that the team didn't really put up a better performance.
Yeah, I mean,
against her old team.
Yeah, UCLA's good. I mean, they're a top 3 or 4 program. I mean, they've been awesome the last couple of years, but that looked like and like I said, I was just going through the replies and trying to figure it out, trying to piece it together. And somebody had said that like the bad blood there was that basically she felt lied to by the coach and recruited over and had been promised something. Apparently transferred to UCLA and then she brought in somebody else. So then she was just kind of stuck.
coach looks like a liar.
That coach, I mean, that's the one that went toe to toe with Angel Reese a couple years ago, right? Didn't she like almost get into a fight with Angel Reese during was it an Elite 8 game maybe?
That kind of sounds right. I do feel like I remember them playing UCLA.
I want to say that that coach has got some Cheryl Reeve in her, the Minnesota Lynx coach. Like
she does look like her.
She kind of looks like her, but also I think she's kind of fiery and crazy like her. But I remember that coach, I want to say, got into it pretty bad with like Angel Reese and Flo J during that like Elite 8 game. So that coach might just be a meanie.
Yeah, she was at A&M, and then she transferred to Westwood.
Okay.
And then to UCLA, and now Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, Westwood, I think, is UCLA, right? Like, that's what they call.
That.
Yeah. Yeah.
Egg on my face.
No, it's fun. It's all good. But they call it, UCLA's Westwood. That's where.
Is that like a famous person? Because I know they do like a Westwood 1 or something like that.
I don't know. I don't know where I think Westwood's just an area of town, ain't it? This is where we need Cody. He's out in California right now. Somebody text Cody and get to the bottom of this. But I'm pretty sure Westwood's just like the area. Didn't they call John Wooden the Wizard of Westwood? Wasn't that his name? Or am I making that up?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk some more football after the break. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation, Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
Citizens National Bank.
Kick off this football season with a CNB Plus Perks checking account. Move downfield with free online and mobile banking. And cross the goal line with extended evening hours and Saturday banking. Banking at CNB has its perks. Find out more at cnbtn.com.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that?
Cool, I'll just order them online.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered.
Hold up. That's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay?
I mean, it seems pretty convenient.
Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics.
Okay, how do you pronounce it?
SM Athletics. They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
What's the name again? SM Athletics.
Right.
It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Inward Half is running a sale through the end of the day. Use the code BF25. BF25 was a Black Friday sale, but he said it's good through Monday. So if you've been waiting to get you some gear, go to inwardhalf.com. Inwardhalf.com. I believe it's 30% off is what they're giving you. So BF25 is the code. You can go and do a little shopping, get you a little bargain. I don't know if it's too soon to start looking and thinking about like Tennessee going shopping. But like I said, that loss to Vanderbilt was so ugly, was so gross that like you hope it lights a fire. You hope it lights a fire under everyone. For as bad as it was, Sam, for as bad as it was, Bubba, there is a reality where it is a catalyst to something better. There is a reality where getting embarrassed by them was so bad that it makes you reevaluate everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw that last season up in Columbus where you feel like maybe before the game, you kind of thought you were going to be able to go toe-to-toe with a team like Ohio State a little bit better, and you just get run off the field and look like you don't belong. And, I think you see the offense change and adapt a little bit more to kind of some of those pro-style schemes and stuff like that. And so, I think this year, I'm sure the feeling in that building is going to be we need some more juice in some certain position groups, and we got to kind of change some things maybe on the other side of the ball too.
Yeah. I mean, when you told me I was trying to really I had something else in mind. Like I was thinking more like, like Rick Barnes getting embarrassed by like Oregon State and being like, hey, like we have to kind of do some things different here. Like, hey, here's Kenny Chandler, and like we're going to keep improving. Like, I think Rick Barnes kind of hit not rock bottom because you were still making the tournament. Like it still wasn't gross, but like that 2021 season was pretty similar to what we just went through. Not very fun. Not a disaster of a season, but like pretty gross in. Like I said, just not being able to shoot the ball against Oregon State. Kind of similar to Vanderbilt running you off the field. And I think Rick Barnes came back a better coach. And hell, he's much older and much more stubborn and much more accomplished than Josh Heupel is. But even he was like, hey, we got to do some things a little bit different around here. And I would say that Oregon State loss, as gross as it was, a catalyst to a really, really good stretch of Tennessee basketball. You could probably say the best stretch of Tennessee basketball history since that moment. But yeah, like we did run a little bit better offense. Now I do feel like whenever the season was on the line, or like whenever the season actually got into the season, we kind of quit running those offensive sets. All of a sudden it was back to just, hey, we're going to go fast. Hey, here's another inside handoff. Were you expecting this on first down? Hey, here's another run for 2 yards. Those plays are so gross. And like I do think the tempo thing, it still works from time to time. Like you saw Chris Brazzell on his long touchdown. That was a big play, and that was kind of back to 2022 offense where hey, the defender is not even looking. He's so confused of what's happening. Oh wow, Chris Brazzell touchdown. That felt good. Vibes were high when that happened.
So this may be the wrong outlook on this, but you talk about up tempo. We're talking about up tempo when we're within the 5, trying to score, and the game's already out of hand at that point.
Oh, I didn't care at all about what happened once the game was out of hand. Like whatever. Like for me, the offense, they put together one drive. Mike Matthews sabotaged it. Mike Matthews sabotaged it with a really, really bad drop. And at that moment, you settle for a field goal. I don't know how you guys felt. Some of my friends were really mad that we didn't go for the 4th down there, 4th and 2 or whatever from the 7 or 8 yard line, wherever you were at. As it was happening, I thought, hey, just extend the game. Just make sure you at least get a field goal here. Give yourself a chance to get the ball back and tie it. But, of course, you were never going to get a stop, so you probably should have just gone for the touchdown. Like I said, hindsight's 45-21. What are you going to do? But, like, that was the only drive the offense put together in the second half. As everyone's mad about Tim Banks, with good reason, I want to add, not caping for Tim Banks, also remember that the offense scored 3 points the final 37 minutes of the game. Also remember that. Because, like, you had a chance. For as bad as the defense was, you had a chance. They forced their only punt of the game. There was a stretch there up through halfway through the second quarter where you had forced 2 turnovers and forced a punt. You give the offense the ball back up 7 with like about 6 minutes left, Sam? A chance to go and score a touchdown and go up 2 scores. And if you time it right, not leave Vanderbilt enough time to come back down to score their own touchdown. Instead, guess what you did? Absolutely nothing. Hey, here's this weird offensive pass interference that I feel like we get once every other game. Hey, it's year 5. Josh, it's year 7, 8, 9, 10 of you running your offense. How are you still getting those simple offensive pass interference penalties? How are you still making those mistakes?
Just details and execution.
It cost you the Florida game in 2023. That one might have been like an illegal blindside block where you're coming back to it. But either way, another one of those penalties on a screen pass. It hurt you in the Alabama game, cost you a safety. How are you still making those mistakes? I guess it is just simply execution. Maybe the execution of the players or like execution of the playbook of like maybe we should like execute that part of the playbook. And by execute, I mean eliminate. Because like the little screens like down the field where the wide receivers are blocking are too bang bang to trust everything to go proper, to trust the officials to rule it right, to trust the offensive line to block it right, to trust the quarterback to get the ball out on time. Because I think on that particular one, Joey didn't get the ball out on time. Next thing you know, boom, offensive pass interference that I really thought was more of a hold than an offensive pass interference, but we never got a replay of it. And the announcers, Lord knows, that was asking Jordan Matthews too much to actually talk about something that was happening, more so of glazing Pavia and Aguilar. I thought Joey.
I've always hated those too. It's a 35-yard pass for at most a 5-yard gain or something like
Nope,
that.
they're terrible plays. And like I said, it feels like every other game you get a backbreaking penalty on them. Tennessee, like Josh Heupel, he needs to go back to the basics, or he needs somebody there to help him. Like, I don't want to put it all on Josh Heupel, but he needs some help. The offensive coordinator over there, I would like to know. I'd like to have the little Office Space interview with him and just ask him, what is it you do here? What would you say your job responsibilities are on game day? Because, during the week, I help do this, and this. I'm coaching the court. Okay, that's fine. What about in the game? Like, what about during the game? What are you doing? Because somebody's got to help Josh. Because, like, it seemed as simple as Vanderbilt was like, hey, if we bring 7 people to this line, they're not going to know what to do. If we just crowd the line and maybe we blitz, sometimes we drop out of it, but they're not going to know what to do. They are going to immediately go like check down or inside handoff. Let's just do this, and they're not going to know. And the check down is going to be that stupid pass to like a tight end or the running back in the flats, like 2 yards down the field. And if it's 3rd and 7, that means we get off the field. It seems like we did that the entire game.
That started the very first play of the game.
The very first play of the game, and the very
they
first
had 8 in the box,
yep.
and then we immediately checked down to the inside run, and then they just dropped it back,
Yep.
and then next play the flat.
Yep, I think it was 3rd down the flat because Jordan Rogers like, hey,
because Browse on the
yeah, and I think Matthews even said like, hey, Vanderbilt's testing them here to see what they'll do if they fake or send pressure, and Tennessee did the same thing every time, and it was a quick dump down and a tackle and a 4th down.
We looked like we had literally never seen someone, show 8 people ever.
Again, I'm not going to act like I know more ball than Josh Heupel, but I feel like they showed that you could get one-on-one coverage on the outside, and you got some pretty good wide receivers. So even if you don't want to go straight to the slant pass, because sometimes those backers are going to drop back into coverage and not blitz, and sometimes like Joey Aguilar's not going to really know how to read the defense. Look at the Oklahoma game, and he'll just throw it into the middle of the field and get intercepted. That's fine. But what's a pretty safe throw against that coverage? Let's just throw it deep down the outside. Let's give Chris Brazel a chance down the field to make some plays. And it was like Tennessee tried that early, and then they hit the 1 touchdown. They said, okay, well, that's good. You can take that one out of the playbook. We did our job. We hit our 1 deep pass. All the people that wanted fast, fun, and real back, they got to see the deep ball. Good job, Brazel. And it was a good job. But I feel like he could have thrown it maybe 4 more times. Like, hey, let's see if we can get a defensive pass interference call. Let's see if our wide receiver that's really good can go down the field and make a play. I think I'd rather try that than another dump down to the running backs, which Deshaun Bishop, his overall numbers look pretty good in the game. It's hard to blame him. It looked like he cared at least out there. I got to say, with the way it ended, Bubba, it feels like the Star Thomas recruitment was a bust.
Yeah, I was asking Sam, I was like, why? Because I didn't see it on any injury designation. Maybe I was looking at the wrong ones, but I didn't see Star Thomas was listed as questionable or anything like that. Said it's just Dwayne Morris out there.
I think Star Thomas just fell out of the rotation, Bubba. I think they realized they couldn't really trust him, or maybe he didn't have enough wiggle. I don't know, but Peyton Lewis was in the game against Oklahoma on those big drives. Star Thomas got 1 carry for 0 yards and 1 catch for 9 yards. And like you said, Dwayne Morris was in there pretty early on. That was a miss. I don't know if Sam Pendleton is a hit or a miss, because he was pretty average at center, but he was also hurt. But it didn't feel like you got what you needed from him either. Joey Aguilar, I got to call a hit just because of the timing of the year that you got him in. And I do think that he played okay quarterback. He played really good at times and okay overall. But, like, when I look at, like, next year's roster, and I mean no disrespect, but, like, I think if you bring Joey Aguilar back as your quarterback, that is the signs of an unserious program. Maybe that's not fair to say to him. I mean no disrespect, Mama Aguilar. But, like, he's not good enough to win big games here. God bless him. Good ambassador for the program. He's always welcome here. He won in the swamp. He maximized what he could. But, like, either the coaches don't trust him or he just ain't got it in between the ears because they didn't want to put him in any situations that were not completely controlled. End of the first half with only a minute left. Nah, don't trust Joey. Nope, not going to do it. End of the Georgia game. Nope, not going to do it. Nope. Nope. So, like, when I look at what this team needs, we talk about going shopping. Again, use the promo code BF25 to get 30% off an inward half. But, like, when we're going shopping, to me, like, the quarterback position, it has to be at the top of the list just because at this point, I don't know how you guys feel. I don't know how the freaks feel in the chat, but, like, at this point, I'm considering Josh Heupel a Hendon Hooker merchant because this is 3 years in a row where you haven't gotten good enough quarterback play. Joe Milton, you can blame him. You could say he sucks. I know I did that. Nico, you can blame him. You could say he sucks. I know a lot of you did that. But, like, it's 3 different quarterbacks, 3 different years, and, like, similar results. The offense is really good sometimes, but a lot of times it is like, hey, here's a 3 and out. Hey, here's a penalty. Hey, here's this. Hey, we don't know what to do against pressure. Hey, we're really conservative. I'm worried about the quarterback position moving forward. I think we can put that narrative to bed that Josh Heupel is a quarterback whisperer. I think we can also put the narrative to bed that, like, any running back in the system is going to be, like, really good.
That's what I was just about to say is I think a running back is pretty high up on the needs for the portal.
Yep.
I was just looking through our rushing totals this year. 98 yards over 2,098 yards on the season. The worst season rushing the ball in the Josh Heupel tenure was 22 because your passing attack was so good. You still ran for 2,500 yards.
Yep. You didn't overwhelm, like, the opponents that you even should have overwhelmed. And, like, if you go back to 22, Sam, I bet a lot of that is like, hey, here's 300 yards against Missouri. Like, hey, here's you beating Vanderbilt up on that. Like, I would say the rushing was really good against those loser opponents and the bought wins during the season. But this year, yeah, you couldn't do that. And I don't blame Deshaun Bishop. Like, I think Deshaun Bishop would be is a really good vol. I think he'd be a great number 2 on a really good team. I don't think he should be a lead back. And maybe that's unfair to him, but, like, at the very least, like, the number 2's got to be better. I think we can agree on that. I would like to have a more explosive number 1, like a big-time number 1, type of running back. I think Deshaun Bishop is really good. He's really solid. And like I said, he played hard, and he ran hard enough in some of these games to give you a chance to win. He ran hard enough. He ran good enough to beat Alabama. The quarterback threw a pick 6. Maybe should have given the ball to Bishop more. But against, like, Oklahoma, boom, shut down. We had nothing we could do. Once they shut down our run game, we were cooked because they had no confidence in Joey. And quite frankly, nor should they have in that game because he threw it away. Quarterback's number 1 on my list. Sam, you say running back. Bubba, if you could go shopping, what's number 1 on your wish list?
Defensive back.
Yeah.
Yeah, safety's number 1 on my list.
Safety's number 1 on your list? Okay, you're just doing offense?
Yeah.
And I think probably overall, like, yeah, I mean, like, a new defensive identity is going to be number 1 on a lot of people's list. I do think you have some help coming at linebacker, but it's going to be young. You've recruited, good linebackers, and this new class has some good linebackers, but they're all young, but you need more speed on the field.
That's another thing I'm interested in is, like, it feels like over the last couple of years, they've been pretty bought into, like, hey, young talent, let's go develop these guys and let's play them early and give them a chance. Now I feel like, does that timeline get sped up a little bit with the way that the season ended and the way that people are going to be calling for immediate production? Like, can you wait on a freshman to go and flash by week 6, or do you need a guy that's just going to be able to go be a guy from week 1 all the way on?
I think, Sam, that you could ask that same question about the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Like, if you had gone 9-3 this year, or found a way to go 10-2, which, by the way, unnecessary side note, I don't know if we even would have gotten in the playoff at 10-2. Like, seeing the way it shook out, like seeing how crowded the bubble is. Like, I think in our head we kept saying 10-2 gets in the playoff. I don't even know if you would have gotten in the playoff at 10-2. But if had you gone 10-2 or 9-3, you maybe had a little bit more wiggle room next year. But like now, you can't afford to go in with an unproven commodity at quarterback. Unless you are just 1,000,000% convinced that Faison Brandon is the truth. That he is freshman year Trevor Lawrence. That he is freshman year Terrell Pryor. And I say that just because I saw in the game that he was the only freshman quarterback to ever win, in that rivalry between, or at least in the last 50 years. So I assume he was pretty good all year. I remember Terrell Pryor kind of hitting the ground running. But unless you are convinced that like Faison Brandon is just that special, you can't afford to not go out and get a big-time quarterback. You can't afford not to go out and get a proven commodity, right?
I mean, there's just too many good teams on your schedule next year to mess around with that. Yeah, you have to.
It appears that Terrell Pryor threw for 100 yards a game his freshman year. So take back what I said. They misrepresented it on Fox that he was like a special player. But I guess that Ohio State team was just pretty loaded. Never mind about Terrell Pryor. But like, yeah, if you think you have a stud freshman, you're hitching your career to him. Maybe a portion of the fan base will say, hey, he's a freshman. We can't have any expectations for a season. But a good portion of the fan base is going to say, I don't care. It's time to win. 8-4 last year is not good enough. It's time to win. You talk about the quarterback narrative getting flipped on its head. Sam said the running back narrative got flipped on its head. Maybe the most damning thing this season was that the Neyland narrative got completely shredded. Where, hey, we're going to win at home as long as it's not Georgia. Nope, that's not true. You still lost to Georgia this year, don't get me wrong, but you also lost to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt.
Did you see that tweet from Vanderbilt too?
No, I haven't. I haven't really been scrolling Twitter as much, especially after the game. Like they deserve to talk their trash. Somebody did send me a graphic that had, the anchor down right in front of the stadium with Pavia leaned up to it, and that was enough for me. But no, what was Vanderbilt's?
It was just like a tweet of a video of Neyland Stadium at the end of the game, just 20% capacity, and it said the so-called Neyland effect. That was the caption of the video.
Look, to the victor goes the spoils, man. Like, they get to talk their trash.
Big day for Theo Vaughn and Jelly Roll.
Big day for Theo Vaughn and Jelly Roll. Like, it's true. Like, they might not get to make the playoffs, so, like, that was their playoff moment. They get to talk their trash. I'm okay with it. And if you're a Tennessee fan that's trying to, like, cope and just be like, oh, we still own you all time, maybe save that for the offseason. Now's not the time. Now's the time just to hit mute conversation and not argue back. Because there's nothing you could say. They went on a 31-3 run in your house and overtook your stadium.
Prime Sean Alexander out there.
What?
I know his name's Cedric Alexander.
Oh, the Alabama running back. Okay, I was going to say, what are we talking about? I mean, like they had good skill position players. They made plays. They beat you up. They dominated you. Like they were more physical, which is why I go back to like that to me is all coaching. Vanderbilt doesn't have more talent than you. When you look at like NFL draft talent, that's going to be real bleak if we have like 4 first or second round picks in the next, the draft. Looking at 8-4, they don't have more recruiting talent than you. They got a quarterback who plays hard, but like I never felt like effort was an issue with Joey. Joey played hard. Joey should have had a moment where he struck, threw off that Vanderbilt defender on that big third down, or maybe even fourth down, and got the first down. Joey played hard. but they got a quarterback that leads that team over there. I imagine they don't have the problem we have at practice, and they got a coach that got those boys fired up and ready to go out and get something. That was our big concern on Tuesday, Sam, was that they had more to play for. They played like they had more to play for. I imagine they were coached like they had more to play for. Game mattered to them more. And that's pretty damning. What do you want to have at the quarterback position? Do you want Joey Aguilar back? Do you want him to go and test the courts and try to get that year of eligibility? Do you want Faison Brandon? Are you willing to roll the dice with George McIntyre?
Love it or love it?
Love it or love it. Do you go out and do you just spend big money in the portal? We'll dive into that after the break. Let us know what you want in the comments. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go.
The following radio theater is brought to you by Men's Pro Knoxville.
Hey, Dad, can we play football?
No, buddy.
All right.
Pops, want to work out?
Maybe later.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tomorrow?
You've got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you have ED and performance issues, your family, friends, and even your career has already been affected. Book your discreet evaluation at Men's Pro Knoxville and turn your tomorrows into
today.
Yes! Touchdown!
Come on, one more, Dad.
Today!
Push, Dad. One more. Come on, push.
Hey, kids are in bed. What you up to?
Tonight.
Call 865-544-8220 or book now in under 30 seconds at menspronknoxville.com. Men's Pro Knoxville, for every man in every season of life.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your home exterior needs. If your home needs new siding, windows, doors, gutters, handrails, a deck, or a new roof, then give my friends at North Knox Siding and Windows a call at 865-689-0505. You can also visit their showroom at 5618 North Broadway. Locally owned and operated and proudly serving all of Knoxville and the surrounding areas, North Knox Siding and Windows. Online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball to score points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Hear, hear!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players and helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Hear, hear! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey. Hear, hear! Quarterback, safeties, corners. Yeah, one way or the other, we got to have better linebacker play, whether it's just the new young studs coming in and being ready to play and go run and hit somebody. Your defensive line is going to need an overhaul. Now, maybe you do just have enough young guys on there that they'll get better, but like I said, everyone's talking about Garner to Auburn. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if anybody goes with him or whatever. But while we're at it, can we get rid of Sterl the Pearl and Jeff Jarnigan? Like we gotta redo the Neyland Stadium experience.
We gotta get loud.
You gotta feed the floor. Let's go. It works in basketball. But in football, like, man, like maybe it's just one of those things that when you're losing, everything sucks. But like, Hearing the music.
All right, Vol fans, get up on your feet for third down.
Sterl the Pearl shaking his ass when you're down 2 scores just don't hit the same. Playing like 90s Backstreet Boys, I want it that way when you're losing just doesn't hit the same. Oh, wait, here's Party in the USA again. Oh, wait, here's some Miley Cyrus. Oh, wait, that's Party in the USA. Wait, I already did that one. What about Swag Surf? And we got to get rid of the Morgan Wallen song while we're at it. We got to do a complete scrap. We got to change things.
Copperhead Road.
Something, Danny. Something. We got to do something different. Because all the gimmicks really suck when you're not winning. And like I said, you were winning in Neyland Stadium a lot over the last couple years. You lost to Oklahoma. You lost to Vandy. Bad taste in the mouth at the end of this one. We got to do some new things to change the vibes. Maybe just get Sterl the Pearl a new playlist and cut his microphone off. Maybe that's it. He can still DJ. I don't want to call for somebody to lose their job because, when I do it for like football coaches, they got buyouts. They'll be all right. Sterl's probably, not got a buyout. Sterl's probably not got a 7-figure deal to go out there and do that, an 8-figure deal to go out there and do that. I don't want to cost the man his job, but let's just refresh the playlist, Sterl. Let's learn how to read the room. When we're down 2 scores, we do not want it that way. I do not want to feel the rain on my skin when we're losing. All right? I don't need the OC song out there. I'm good. Not saying you got to play sad music, but let's maybe not just say we want it that way. That's okay. It's all right. But yeah, we got to change a lot of things with this program. A lot of things. Which, Sam, it's a gross place to be in because, like I said, it's going to be a long offseason because of this. Nothing is going to really matter for anybody over the next couple of weeks until they get a pound of flesh, until they get new coaches. The problem is you can't get new coaches until after signing day. That's typically all, how it always works. You don't want to, not like Tim Banks has really recruited any safeties or is probably big in recruiting these guys, but you don't want to worry about your defensive coordinator while you're trying to lock down these prospects.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go scorched earth just yet, but I do think it's going to be very interesting around here if, you get a couple weeks down the road and there hasn't necessarily been any sort of rumblings of a staff change and you get into the portal cycle and maybe you're not as aggressive as the fan base kind of thought you were going to be and you're kind of doing what you did last year and sitting on your hands a little bit and just not really going out there and patching up some of the holes that you thought you needed. That's when I think it'll start to get very interesting in terms of how people perceive this offseason.
The offseason is going to go well in the portal. Just based off everything I hear, Tennessee is going to throw money at the problem. And again, it might be trying to, fix up the guest house versus the foundation of your own house. Maybe the coaching staff's more important than getting a new car. Maybe you should spend your money and just really worry about the issues on the staff and the mentality and all that. But hey, better players give you a chance. And the money is going to be there. From everything I've been told, Tennessee is going to have a significantly bigger budget. Now, I imagine that same conversation is happening everywhere across the country. I would imagine Auburn fans are telling Golis he's got more money to spend. I would imagine LSU is telling Lane Kiffin he's got money to spend. I'd imagine Ole Miss is telling, Golding, hey, we're going to spend a bunch of money there. So, having money is not going to set you apart. Florida, Arkansas, I'm sure all those schools that are hiring new coaches are promising their guys they'll spend money. Georgia and Alabama are going to spend money. Everybody's going to spend money. Throwing money at the problem just ain't going to fix everything, but Tennessee is going to be able to go out and be aggressive in the portal. They're going to be able to be aggressive and, keeping their high school class together, keeping their current roster together if they want to. Will that fix the problem? We'll see. Chris writes in on YouTube I wonder how coaches train in the offseason to make them better. Can they load their offense into a game system and run game calling simulations? If not, that would be cool. I mean, like there is VR for that, right? Now, I haven't really heard it from a coaching standpoint, but like, wasn't that the talk with Jaden Daniels and Cam Ward? Like, hey, we got this new VR stuff that you're going to be in the playbook and you're going to see the plays and you're going to do all this. I'm sure you could easily do that of just like, hey, here's some Phil. Like, here's put this mask on and hey, here's this situation. It's 3rd and 2. There's 1 minute and 10 seconds left. You're at midfield. What do you do? No, don't run all 40 seconds like you did against Mississippi State. Don't do that. No. I mean, just pick up a controller and play Madden, bro. Because I don't know if it's the play calling that's the issue. It might just be the plays, but I don't think it's the play calling that's an issue. It's the game management I have a problem with. Do I love the inside handoffs? Do I love the same 4 or 5 plays? No, but like I think that's just kind of what we're going to get with Josh Heupel. Everyone would want an offensive coordinator, right? That actually called the plays. Like, we'd all want that, right? Like, I think we'd all be pretty happy if Josh Heupel said he's giving up play calling.
That's like a requirement for me of this offseason, to be quite honest with you.
We'd
like, I'll go into next season with just no hope at all if Josh Heupel's still calling plays. And that's not against Josh. It's just like he's got to become more of a head coach.
I think we'd all be pretty pumped up about that. That's one of those things that like maybe you roll your eyes in if it happens during the season. But like if you commit to it, like, because, like sometimes the head coach is like, okay, fine, I won't call the plays anymore as they're trying to save their job. Or they're like, hey, I'm taking over play calling duties because I'm trying to save my job. When it happens in the season, I just kind of roll my eyes because like you're not going to be able to change your whole process. But yeah, if he starts right now and starts training, 9 months from now, we're going to be a completely different organization and we're going to have different things. And hey, my OC is going to be, have power here. And I'm going to be more focused and more hands-on and actually knowing what's going on. That would get everybody pretty fired up. We'll see. But it's crazy, coming out of year 5. I think we all know Josh Heupel's not going anywhere unless Penn State gets desperate. But like, I think everyone agrees that like both coordinator positions have to be upgraded. Spend money on the roster, yeah, that's all good. It's all fine and dandy. But like spending money on your coaching staff and getting the better coaches in here would probably go further. Hour 2 in the books. We'll kick off hour 3 with some headlines. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Whether it's a routine cleaning, whitening for that big event, or fixing a nagging toothache, our gentle team is here for you. With flexible hours, family-friendly care, and the latest technology, Knoxville Smiles makes every visit stress-free. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Call Knoxville Smiles today at 865-539-1776 or book online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
This football season, crack open a cold beer that doesn't fumble the flavor. Garage Beer is 100% beer-flavored beer. No gimmicks, just cold beer. Co-owned by the Kelsey brothers and brewed right here in the Volunteer State, Garage Beer is perfect for fall fire pits and Tennessee tailgates. So pick up a 12-pack today of the official beer of Football Fridays on Fan Run Radio. Garage Beer, 100% beer-flavored beer.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Whether you are buying or selling a home or even looking for some land to build on and start a family, be sure to give Reed Emerson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Heritage Group a shout. He is a longtime listener and supporter of Fan Run and has been serving the Mid-State for many years. Reed prides himself on his hassle-free and honest approach, and that's because he's not just chasing another commission. He wants what is best for his clients. Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together. Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Round 3.
The world's greatest radio show. The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
Power Rankings, Tuesday Trivia. John, Reed, and Cody going wild, no Olivia. Wood grain on my leather seats. I got the whole team eating like I'm Johnny Eats. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Talk sports while I'm chewing a Zen, ayy. Talk sports while I'm riding to work. All the ops take a ride in a hearse. East Knoxville. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Morning booming from 7 to 10, ayy. Morning booming from 7 to 10.
Hour number 3 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. This batch of headlines brought to you by SM Athletics. If you have a logo that you need put on some apparel, well, that's what we do here at SM Athletics. We can get you some hoodies, some quarter zips, some last-minute Christmas stuff for the office, polos, T-shirts, cups, whatever you need. You'll get great products at a fair price, and you'll get excellent customer service. Give SM Athletics a call at 865-966-3434, or you can learn more online at smathletics.com. Let's get another batch of news, Sam. Bubba, what you's got? Give me some headlines.
Thank you, John. So, enough bad news in Knoxville. Let's go to some bad news down in the swamp. Florida Gators head baseball coach Kevin O'Sullivan was identified in October by a state child welfare investigator as the subject of verbal abuse allegations made by one of his teenage children. So we all know that he had stepped away from the team to address some family issues. We all know that Kevin O'Sullivan, not necessarily the greatest guy in the world.
Come back.
I'm absolutely shocked to hear this headline.
Your kids have to really hate you. You have to be a real for them to do this. really hate him to be willing to go through with that.
Verbally abusive and is, quote, constantly yelling and screaming at the teen. The teen feels unsafe in O'Sullivan's home over the past few years.
Now, is
it's been going on for a while. The teen had told authorities at least 4 prior reports had been filed with the state agency.
Now, this is his son, right? Or daughter, like I'd say. Maybe they don't say which one.
Yeah, I don't know if they
but like
specify.
It's his, right?
Yeah,
I guess
he shares custody with his ex-wife, but
okay. And then
there was
a tragic story about his current wife's kids. I mean, that was the one where Sullivan broke up that family, and then the dad killed the kids and himself.
Mm-hmm.
Really gruesome, sad story. If you want more details, I guess you can Google it. But so there's no step kids. It's just his kids. So yeah, they must really hate him. They must really hate him to be willing to go through and actually call the police on him.
Who would have thought we saw this? Louisiana Monroe expected to name S.J. Toohey as its next athletic director. Yes, that is the son from The Blind Side.
Is S.J. short for like Sean Jr.?
I think so, yeah.
That's really dumb.
And then, he was a current deputy AD at Oral Roberts before taking the Louisiana Monroe job. Previously worked his way up at UCF, Arkansas, SMU, and Liberty. So I guess at least he actually has been putting some work in on the athletic department side, but that's hilarious that we've got The Blind Side as an athletic director now.
Never watched the movie. Don't really know anything about him. I've heard good and bad stuff about that family. The dad does some grisly stuff, so I mean, I'm familiar with that. I got no real takes on that, other than kind of what I said with Stephen Pearl. Just because your dad is rich and somewhat famous doesn't mean that you can't actually earn the job. So like maybe he's actually put in some time. Maybe he's actually good at it. I know we laugh at nepotism and like, yeah, usually like, hey, you could tell like, hey, this person's just got this job because they're the kid. But that shouldn't automatically disqualify them either from being like potentially really good at it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes you could be a child that has a head start, but like that you actually use that and you earn it and you become really good.
For sure.
I'm rooting against this kid. With that being said, despite not really knowing him, but where's he at? Louisiana Monroe. I'm rooting for them.
You've never even seen the movie. Why are you rooting against him?
Just because I've heard that family's kind of jerkish.
Yeah,
I could be completely wrong on that, but like maybe I'm just taking what was it? Laramie? Who's in Blonde? Not Laramie. Not Laramie Tunsil. Yeah, Michael Orr. Well, he's Ole Miss too, right? So I was getting them confused. But Michael Orr came out and said that the family was kind of weird and predatory towards him. He had some beef with him where he was trying to sue him over the movie and stuff. So maybe that's playing into it as well. Maybe they were innocent. Maybe they weren't. I don't know.
No. I mean, I've heard that stuff too.
Yeah,
previously.
Yeah, but I'm rooting against him. Maybe because of Sandra Bullock.
Not a big Sandra Bullock guy?
Not that character in that movie. Which credit to her for playing it well. That gaudy orange. I saw that clip.
Big anti-Sandra Bullock guy over here.
Really?
Once I saw her in Gravity, ruined my whole vibe for her.
It's
just her crying in space.
I can't say I'm anti-Sandra Bullock, but I do gotta say it's been a while since like I've seen something that she's in that I've actually like enjoyed her in. I mean, Ocean's 8, I guess, was okay. I like that movie with her and Channing Tatum where they're like lost on an island. I thought that one was okay. Now, back in the day, like Miss Congeniality, that was cool. I liked that. Is that it? What else the hell was she in? I mean, I guess that The Heat. No, that wasn't any good. Is she pretty overrated? Maybe she's pretty overrated. I gotta go through her IMDb. I gotta find out if there's any other Sandra Bullock movies that I like.
The first net rankings of the basketball season are out.
Bird Box was so strange to me as everyone. That's like Netflix just lied to everybody.
I never watched that one.
Well, that one was weird because like it was proven that Netflix basically just paid and bought all these bot accounts on Twitter to tweet about it.
Oh, like to say it was good?
Yeah, basically like they faked word of mouth, which is supposed to be like the most sincere like form of advertising. You put out a good product, people see it, they want to watch it. They just paid a bunch of people to say that they watched it and said it was good. So it had all this hype. And I remember watching it on Netflix, and it was fine. It was okay. But I was like, this is the movie everyone says is so good. And then that came out, and I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Great job by them. They got everybody to watch it. Did they ever make a sequel to that movie?
They did.
They made Bird Box 2?
I believe so.
You said that pretty confidently.
I think there's like a, I don't know if it's the same studio or not, but there's also like a European version.
Okay. So they did Bird Box Barcelona, I guess. Was that the sequel, I guess?
That's what it seems like here on a quick Google search.
So maybe not a real sequel, but
what was this movie again? What like explain Bird Box 1 to me.
No, Noise was A Quiet Place.
Yeah, with Krasinski. Never mind. I am irrelevant.
Bird Box, well, they did make a sequel to that one. Bird Box was basically you looked at something and got killed. Like if you I don't know I don't even remember what the hell you're supposed to be staring at. I just know like at the end of the movie, Sandra Bullock gets them to freedom, spoiler alert, because she's blindfolded and goes down the river blindfolded. But there's that one, like, the meme did, stand the test of time where you're
that's all I
holding the eyes open and make them look at it so they die. Like that's all we got from it. But yeah, I don't know if Sandra Bullock really has done much recently that's any good. Maybe she is overrated. Anyways, what was that other headline you had?
The net rankings are in for the first time of the basketball season.
Oh, it would have been real cool if Tennessee was undefeated when we were looking at this. Where are we at?
Tennessee falls at number 12 in the country, good for number 2 in the SEC, only behind Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's number 4?
Vanderbilt is very, very good at basketball.
Yeah, they're 2-0 against Quad 1, which is where we could have been had we not gagged away a 12-point lead against Kansas.
Like, St. Mary's is a good team this year in college basketball, and they 20-pieced them and put up like 98 points, I think, or 95 points or something like that.
Maybe there's something to all that stuff Diego Pavio was saying where they're just going to really spend a bunch of NIL money and become a player. Michigan, Duke, Purdue, Vandy, Gonzaga. That's your top 5. Gonzaga being number 5 after getting beat by 40 by Michigan's kind of crazy.
They didn't even look like they belonged on the same court there, yeah.
No, Michigan blew out all 3 of those teams.
Michigan looks
Vegas.
tough. Yeah, Tennessee comes in at 12. Next SEC teams, Bama at 14, Kentucky at 15, which still doesn't make sense. And that's actually it for the SEC.
So second in the SEC, and it looks like third among teams that have a loss.
Or there's LSU, actually.
Huh?
Yeah. LSU comes in at 19. That is strange.
How that?
Who the hell will they beat?
No, they're 7-0, but it's 3 quad 3 games and 3 quad 4 games, which I know it's not all resume built, but like I guess they must have just beat those teams by 50 points. I don't know.
I'm sure the first week or two of the net rankings is probably just not really.
Yeah.
It doesn't look all that great.
Yeah, I don't really care about that, but I do still care about blowing that game against Kansas.
Kalshi has been hit with a nationwide class action lawsuit for operating an illegal online sports betting platform and for, quote, duping customers into believing that they are legally gambling against other consumers when they are actually gambling against the house.
Book them, Dano.
You familiar with Kalshi, John?
I've never used it, but yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
So basically, essentially they've been lying. It's not peer-to-peer betting. It's just there's actually a house there.
They've basically just kind of been creating their own odds almost. It feels like
their own odds, but also like they're staking the bet. I think that's how they were trying to get away from it, right? That's why they're saying they didn't have to worry about state regulation and state laws, because the idea I think was that I go out, I want to bet $100 on something. Essentially, they find you, Sam. Somebody wants to bet $100 on the other side, right? And then basically they're saying that my $100 goes against your $100. But now I guess the lawsuit says that like I can go bet my $100 out there and they don't necessarily have to find you, that the house can just bet against me, which would make it like an illegal gambling site.
So their platform's weird. I've never used it, but it's like the screenshots and like just stuff that I see, it's like half like almost like stock style,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either.
And also the fact that they use just terrible AI for their commercials and
Oh, I don't even know if
advertising.
I've seen any commercials for it, really. Maybe I have. Maybe
They
I've
got
just
like a Star Wars ripoff where it's like, oh, you're in the galaxy.
Yeah, maybe I've just blocked them out. I don't know.
Yeah, first, maybe we'll get it back just like Michigan and Western Michigan or whatever it was, but Virginia and NC State set to make history as they are becoming the first schools to play a college football game in South America. They will face off in their 2026 season opener in Brazil. Who wants to see Virginia and NC State play?
Me.
Any other headlines?
Kiffin's going to keep Blake Baker, it seems like, as LSU defensive coordinator.
I guess he doesn't have his defensive coordinator. Yeah. Did you buy into that fan fiction, that fan story about Golding telling Kiffin to get out of his office, go home and watch it? Did you see that?
Go home and watch what?
They were watching the Iron Bowl, like
really?
at like in his office, and there's like Ole Miss. It was a message board like fan fiction post where like Golding reportedly told Kiffin like, "What the hell are you still doing here? Go watch it at your home. This is my office now," which I don't believe, but
I'd like to think that's true.
It's possible. It's possible.
I'm kind of rooting for Ole Miss to go win the national title. Like, I think that would be hysterical for Lane Kiffin to leave and go and try and, like, get a national championship program, and then he leaves it, and they go win.
Yeah, see, I think I'm the opposite. I'm rooting for them to get embarrassed game one. I was kind of on their fan sides, but, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't really like their fans either. Like, they are still, like, other SEC fans that not saying it's their fault.
It's not like they'd become, like, a power, I don't think.
I don't think so either, but it would also be really funny if they lost by 40 and, like, the whole – because I don't like that they're doing the whole – and maybe it's just, like, human nature to cope, but, like, now Golding's the man. They love Golding. They're going to act like they came out better out of this exchange. Like, everything's good. Golding's their guy. If Golding come out and they lost by, like, 40, that'd be pretty funny. Like, honeymoon's over. Now, I'm not rooting for Kiffin at LSU either. I want them to be bad, too. I want both Ole Miss and LSU just to really struggle and be bad. Ole Miss winning would be kind of funny, but I think them getting embarrassed would be even funnier and just kind of a real slap in the face, a real wake-up type of thing. They kind of look around at the end like, why do we give Pete Golding this job? Why are we trusting him to
I have heard for a while that, like, they do like him over there.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we talked about on here that he had that special contract where basically he had a contract that was standalone, unlike Kiffin's other assistants. But, like, that doesn't mean that he's, like, head coach material, though.
Yeah, I think they're going to kind of treat him like Mississippi State did with, like, Zach Arnett, where it's like, hey, we're going to name him as the head coach now, so probably in the eyes of the committee, it doesn't look as bad, like the transition, and they keep Ole Miss, like, in good standing. And then I feel like it's like a 1-year audition next year. If he does good, they'll keep him around. If not, it's probably a pretty easy buyout, and they just get back to the cycle next year.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, possibly. I just feel like that's so dangerous with recruiting, but it's not like Ole Miss has really recruited high school anyways.
Well, I think Golding is one of their main recruiters, so I think like keeping him for a year is like just to kind of.
Oh, I just mean moving. Yeah, no, I'm more so meant like moving forward. Like, could you like just you'd have to at least like give the optics that he's like fully your guy to get people to like agree to come play for him and get the team to play hard for him. Like, you don't want the guy to feel like a lame duck. But you also probably don't want to give him a 5 or 6 year deal. You saw, I mean, Ole Miss made that mistake with Matt Luke. They've already done that before. So hopefully they don't like run that back. Maybe they've learned from it. But vibes are high there now, though, because like they're in the playoff, and like, yeah, you saw the team celebrate. They're pretty happy that Golding got the job. It's not dissimilar from, I guess, our baseball conversation, right, with Elander. Now, I'll say Elander thought of more highly, I think, as a head coach material than Golding was prior to this happens. Like, I don't think any other SEC team would have ever hired Golding. Doesn't feel like. Whereas I do think Elander could have gotten another SEC or at least a good conference job somewhere else. Either way, good batch of headlines. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about you. Call 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
And offers great food, live music, the best draft beer, your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
This football season, crack open a cold beer that doesn't fumble the flavor. Garage Beer is 100% beer-flavored beer. No gimmicks, just cold beer. Co-owned by the Kelsey brothers and brewed right here in the Volunteer State, Garage Beer is perfect for fall fire pits and Tennessee tailgates. So pick up a 12-pack today of the official beer of Football Fridays on Fan Run Radio. Garage Beer, 100% beer-flavored beer.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
Hashtag release the Lanestein files. Do you think that these are real? What percentage of these do we think are real?
At least 68% of them.
I was going to go higher.
Because, like, a couple weeks ago, remember, he was with his daughter for his daughter's friend's birthday. And she was, dressing like a college girl would. And Lane's out here taking pictures and putting them up on his social media platform. So it's like, buddy, what are we doing here?
The email, the one that I feel like, whatever, like him sending pictures on Snapchat, like, which feels crazy. Like a 50-year-old man's using Snapchat, but I guess like he knows his target audience. But the email that he allegedly sent to his ex-girlfriend, Sally. Have you read this one?
I don't know if I've seen the email. I like that, though.
It says that it's funny because it also has like up there that like Sally has blocked him. You have blocked MLKiffin at Gmail. New messages from the sender will be sent to spam. But it's him saying, nice response. This one is deranged. Like when I read this one. Nice response after my email to post mentally here to try and show you really happy. None of those smiles like the back of Bahamas boat smile with me and how you used to have such a glow about you. Why have you stopped working out? Barely recognize your body at all. I thought you loved working out and having some tone. Is that part of the be simple and back to bad outfits, no jewelry, and date the unattractive guy thing? Guess you were right about wanting to disappear and not be recognized or looked at anymore. is apparently the email he
calling her
sent this
chubby?
girl. Basically saying she let herself go. Why have you stopped working out? Barely recognize your body at all. Is that part of the be simple and back to bad outfits, no jewelry, and date the unattractive guy thing? Which is pretty funny. There's something about Lane not, as he's writing this email to bully this girl and try to play psychological warfare with her, there is something to him still using shorthand. Smile with me, with being just W.
He does use like very strange wording in a lot of these. Like
I
even
thought
the Snapchats.
I thought you loved working out just with the letter U. Like, some of that's even, like, come on, Lane. Step up the game a little bit.
This is like Adam Levine.
It's like Adam Levine. What does that mean?
Well, Adam Levine had that situation where he's like texting his like yoga instructor or babysitter, something like that, and he's like, "Holy, your body is crazy."
Oh, I forgot when he got caught cheating or whatever.
I wonder how Layla feels about this.
Well, there was that whole story that now at this point felt completely manufactured that they were getting back together. That doesn't seem to be the case.
The Purple Hearts, John.
Yeah, but like it acted like he wanted his woman back, which, he got dumped by the 26-year-old and said, "Man, what am I doing? Let me get my sweetheart back. I need some stability in my life." But I guess that was all just a part of the gimmick, all a part of the shtick, the grift.
I also saw something that, like that Mary Kate Cornett girl that went viral about like how she was hooking up with her boyfriend's dad.
Yeah.
Apparently Lane Kiffin was like inviting her to football games and giving her like field passes, and they'd hang out in his office. Who knows if that's true? But
Surely that's not. Surely
that
that's
was
not
another
real.
thing on the Lanestein hashtag that I saw.
Surely that's not real. Surely that's not real.
I don't think you can rule anything out with this guy.
Although with her being that high profile, he could just play it off as he's trying to be nice to her since she's been bullied.
Yeah. He's just like, we'll give this poor girl another field pass.
The Tennessee coaching staff quit after the Oklahoma loss, writes in a tweeter. Dooley could have beat Florida this season. Getting beat by Oklahoma broke Heupel and the boys, which we don't really have much data to go off of. If you're going to say anybody could have beaten Florida, okay, then we can't count that win. The New Mexico State game doesn't matter. So you're saying that we are the coaches quit because they lost to Vandy. Not saying you're right or you're wrong.
I thought he said Oklahoma.
Well, yeah, he's saying we lost Oklahoma, but he's saying we quit because we lost to Vandy. If we beat Vandy, he wouldn't have said the boys quit, is what I'm saying.
I thought you were saying
he's saying that
we quit because we lost to Oklahoma.
He is. But I'm saying he's saying that because we lost to Vandy.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like if we had beaten Vandy, I don't think he'd have tweeted me saying they quit after Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they quit after Oklahoma because like they came out and we looked okay through, a quarter and a half. I want to know what the hell happened the last 7 minutes of the first half into the halftime, though. Like that felt dejecting. I was dejected at home watching it. Like it was sad seeing the personal foul, roughing the passer, lead to a last-second touchdown, and then you don't have any time left to go down and score yourself. Like I imagine that ruined the vibes in the stadium pretty good because it ruined my vibes on the couch. I imagine the locker room wasn't very pumped up or excited after that, but like you came out and at least like in the first quarter, I thought you played hard. Like the first half, you played hard. You were hitting hard. You forced a fumble, which bad luck on not being able to jump on the fumble and it turning into like a 20-yard extra 20-yard completion. But like I thought they were flying around making some plays. So I can't say that the coaching staff quit after the Oklahoma game. But something happened at halftime.
Well, I think you could have gone even further into the end of this game. Like I know that everyone was upset with that field goal drive that puts us down 7. But like, you go down 7, you just get walked down the field basically, and you give up another touchdown and you're down 14, but there's still 9 minutes left in the football game. Like with Heupel's offense, you should be able to think, I know that you're probably thinking you're not going to go win that game, but with 9 minutes and down 14, Heupel's offense can go score in a minute, and you can go get a stop. Like after that, it just felt like the team was like, oh, we're down 14 with 9 minutes left. This game's over. I just felt like the competitive spirit wasn't really there. It kind of felt like the Oklahoma just not running back on the fumble 6 or whatever.
Which, another one of those things you look at and say that's a warning sign. Joey threw a really good ball. I believe it was at 3rd and 14. Threw a really good ball to Brame that he gets dislodged from the ball. Like that was a pretty good pass. It was into coverage, but like, hey, you got to let it rip. And that was a good throw, and unfortunate whenever he got knocked up because you knew at that point you were going to lose. But the 4th down play, Sam, and you remember that? I mean, you ran a damn curl route 6 yards short of the sticks and threw it to his knees where he had to go down to a knee to catch it, which, as we know in college, when your knee hits the ground, you're dead. You're done. In the NFL, you can go to a knee and catch a ball and get up and run as long as nobody touches you. But in college, you can't. Joey even throwing that ball just kind of was the perfect summation to how I have felt about him the second half of the season. Maybe you're saying, maybe you've been saying over the last, month and a half, I've been too hard on Joey, but like that's a part of the Tim Banks stuff. Like everyone gets mad at me for defending the defense, but a part of that is because I don't like this offense. I don't trust this offense. And, it's nothing personal with Joey because I do think he's a great kid. And like, we talked about with the whole, coming here in May stuff, all that's good. But like, I don't think he's played quarterback good enough for Tennessee to be where they need to be. I don't think he played quarterback good enough against Oklahoma. I don't think he played quarterback good enough against Vanderbilt. And I thought him throwing a short pass into the dirt, essentially 6 yards short of the first down on 4th down, kind of perfectly summed that up. Especially as they are on the telecast showing, Mike Matthews comes open right here, 15 yards down. You would have had that pass. It's like Joey got beat down. Maybe he got banged up as the season went on. A listener earlier said it looked like his velocity was gone. That's fine. Maybe, long season, maybe he got beat up. Maybe he was tired of getting hit. Maybe he was in a mental pretzel because Vanderbilt was faking pressure, bringing pressure. He couldn't figure it out. The coaches weren't helping him figure it out. I don't know. But that 4th quarter was about as depressing of a quarter as you could have. Between the Mike Matthews drop pass, Vanderbilt coming right back down the field. You had a chance. You had a chance. It was 2nd and 10. You get the overturned lateral, which it wasn't a lateral, but can you have a roughing the pass, or can you have, an intentional grounding if the ball is tipped? Because somebody on Twitter said you couldn't. Like, I was confused because Diego was jumping up to throw the ball to no one. Like, he was throwing the ball out of bounds, but it did get knocked down. But where he was throwing the ball, nobody was there. So I thought it should have been intentional grounding.
I feel like if it gets tipped, it probably isn't.
Yeah, even if you're throwing it nowhere. I mean, I guess.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing with just like, if it gets tipped, you can just go and just obliterate a guy like mid-route type of thing. You don't get pass interference.
Well, right. Okay, so but where do we draw the line? Like, what if I'm cooked and I just throw it into the defense's back? I throw it into the defender's leg and there's no eligible receiver there. Like, that's tipped. Is that not intentional grounding at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I see that point.
Like, because he was jumped up and he was intentionally throwing the ball to the sideline. There was nobody over there. There was an offensive lineman that had fallen down that was not an eligible receiver. So, like, to me, I thought it should have been intentional grounding. But people are like, hey, if it's tipped, it can't be, which I don't know the rule, and I didn't feel like going through and looking and arguing, so I just deleted the tweet and said whatever. But, like, as I thought about it, like, so you could just throw the ball at a defender's leg and say, oh, I tipped it. It was going to go somewhere else. That doesn't seem right either. But either way, you had 2nd and 10, and then Pavia did make what I thought was the first great throw, maybe his only great throw of the day, when he's running to the left and then launches it down the sideline, and Colton Hood gets beat, which I thought Colton Hood had good coverage. I just thought it was a perfect throw and catch. And at that point, you knew the game was over. Then they just grind you into a pulp. They grind you into dust at that point. You don't get the stop when you need it. You go 4 and out. You get stopped. Bada boom, bada bing, game over. I was frustrated during that possession when we were down 2 scores because even before we got stopped, it looked like we were trying to be more deliberate and slow down. Not that time was a necessity at that point, but it's like you did still need to have some get up and go about you. But you ran 9 plays in 2 minutes. You just sit there and kind of took your time. I do give credit to Rodarius Jackson, though, for coming in off the bench. That was a big-time catch. If you're looking for one silver lining of the second half. Yeah, I guess he was he only out there because Mike Matthews? Did Mike Matthews get benched after dropping that pass on 4th down? Because it looked like that to me, like, hey, you took Mike Matthews off the field because he dropped that pass, and here's Rodarius Jackson. Wow, what a great catch at your shoestrings.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Bubba, you have any other thoughts about Tennessee football? I know we've talked about it the entire show, but this is the type of loss that I think you needed to.
I mean, there's going to be plenty more to talk about because I started, I took some inspiration from Brooks also. I was doing a little watch back and trying to take notes, but I just got so upset last night. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But back and when we talked about our portal needs and wants, I want a new kicker. That's pretty high up on the list for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't had a good kicker. You could tell me Max Gilbert's the most accurate of all time at Tennessee. That's fine. Like, no one has confidence when he goes out there to kick. But I got to be fair. That's not high on my list.
Well, that kid from Oklahoma.
Well, if you told me we could get that guy. If you told me we could get somebody that's automatic from 50, then okay, we might have a different conversation. I'm not saying we don't need to upgrade kicker, Bubba. I'm just saying, like, if I'm making my Christmas wish list, if I'm getting a list for Santa, like, kicker's down at like number 9 or number 10. But if you tell me you get that automatic guy from Oklahoma that's drilling 50-yarders nonstop, that might be worth bumping it up a couple spots.
The fact that we had a tight end in our slot position was pretty interesting. I believe they had Brahma Bull out there, and it's like, okay, I think that's also about the same time they just absolutely got clocked. Couldn't hold on to the ball. Vibes were down. Do we need to get rid of Tim Banks? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
I can't get there with you there, Bubba. I think you need somebody new. Like I said, you got to have a pound of flesh. And I'm not even saying that Tim Banks is not the scapegoat in this scenario, but the thing about a scapegoat is you need him. You need somebody to take a fall. And if you're not firing Josh Heupel, you cannot run back the same defense.
Spin zone here, John. We exceeded expectations this season.
Yours?
Yeah, I thought we were going to go 7-5.
You know, you were closer.
We did it a little bit better.
You were closer to being right than most people that had us higher. I mean, it felt more like a 7-5 team than it did like a 10-2 team for sure. Felt more like a 7-5 team than it did a 9-3 team, despite people saying, "Oh, we were just a couple plays away." I saw Tom Fornelli run down the list of teams. Do you see this, Sam? A list of teams that didn't beat a team that was bowl eligible. We're on that list. We didn't beat one damn team that was bowl eligible. Not one.
Who else is on that list?
Nobody. That was worth a damn. We're the only team that would even consider themselves to be somewhat good, I think. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find the list again because I've lost it. Let me see if I can find it.
When you start thinking about the season like that, it starts to get worse.
You didn't beat anybody. Your best win was either Florida or Mississippi State. Like, neither one of those teams were any good at all. There's nothing really to hang your hat on. Let's see here. Teams without a win against an FBS team with a winning record. Okay, let's see here. Air Force, App State, Auburn, Arkansas, Auburn. Of course, Arkansas has 2 wins. Auburn, Maryland, MT, Missouri. Missouri's on there with us. Missouri and Tennessee are basically an exact replica of each other this year. North Carolina, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State had like 1 or 2 wins. UCLA, Tennessee, South Carolina. So that's kind of the list of teams that are somewhat relevant. Not great company to be in. Auburn, UCLA, South Carolina, Missouri.
Even that Florida team got one.
Even that Florida team beat Texas. And yeah, that's pretty damning. And like, last year it kind of made me mad when people were, pointing that out. And even like, halfway, like after the Georgia game, people were pointing out, well, Tennessee's wins the last, 20 games aren't really that impressive. And you kind of get defensive about it. But when you get to the end of this year and like that didn't change at all, it does start, you do have to start taking it more seriously, right? Now, on one hand, you can only pick who you play. And, hey, it's not your fault that Florida and Mississippi State couldn't eke out a winning record. That's fine. But it's hard to hide behind anything when you get beat by 21 points at home to Vanderbilt. You could convince me Alabama and Georgia are just really good, and hey, you lost to them because they're really good. Okay. Even though I think we saw, Alabama controlled us more than they controlled any other team. Really, it felt like. That was maybe one of the most damning things for me is, I still don't think Alabama's very good, but, every other team that they played at least was in the game in the fourth quarter. Missouri, Vandy, all those teams, put up a better fight than you did. Auburn. Yeah. When I was watching the Iron Bowl, I was kind of rooting for Alabama to win just to keep Vandy out of the playoff. Because, I really don't want Vandy to make the playoff. I was like, do I really want to root for Alabama? I was like, do I really want to root for Auburn? Because they're not going to win. Then I'm just going to be sad. So I was just kind of watching neutrally. When Auburn was driving, I was like, I hope they score and go for 2. They'll probably miss it, but there'll be another weird ending in this game. But I was really just frustrated. Man, Alabama's not this dominant team. Yeah, they look dominant against us. What do you think Josh Heupel's approval rating is right now?
57.
On a scale of 1 to 100, you're going 57?
Yep.
Sam?
Yeah, I was just going to say over 50, but under 60. Somewhere in the 50 to 60 range, I think.
Yeah.
Just kind of barely hanging on.
I'm going to put out the tweet. We'll see if we can get some answers rolling in for last call. But I feel like you said, 57, Bubba?
Yes, sir.
Sam, did you give an official number?
I'll go a little higher than that. I'll give him 59, but I think he's fallen off of the, 60 to 70 to 80 type of thing.
Yeah. I think before this season, and, I made the case in the offseason that Heupel is pretty underrated, that Heupel should get talked about more as a top 10 coach. That's dead. That's gone. Bill Connolly having him ranked as the second best coach. I imagine he's going to, tweak that algorithm a little bit. But there's no case to really make. And when you actually look in the SEC, I know it's new. I know there's a lot of new coaches, but are you even confident still that you have a top half SEC coach right now? Because I have a hard, would you rather have Clark Lee or Josh Heupel? Who do you think's better?
Heupel.
You still got Heupel over Lee?
Yeah.
Sam?
Clark Lee would be a better coach with Tennessee's resources.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to keep it rolling after Pavia, but I do think that Clark Lee, maybe has the James Franklin thing going, which, hey, he's maxed out at Vandy. Now his ceiling was higher than Franklin's, but hey, give him some real resources, he can be a top 10 coach. Which, I don't know if you still consider Franklin a top 10 coach, but we did up until this year. DeBoer, Kirby, Elko. Are we sold on Elko? Because they didn't beat anybody either this year. Now, they at least beat some teams with a winning record, but they didn't beat anybody. And Texas punked them.
He's Dan Mullen.
I think that's an insult to Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen is somebody that I would like to see actually get a chance back in the SEC with some actual resources. Because he didn't really want to recruit at Florida, but he also didn't have the NIL just to buy players.
Kentucky should go get him.
If I'm Dan Mullen, I think I'm still trying to hold out one more year for something better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'd go to Kentucky. There was some talk this morning that Chip Kelly in Kentucky, apparently, there's the rumors there.
Chip Kelly?
Yeah. The names that have gotten thrown around for Kentucky that I've seen are Chip Kelly and Brian Hartline. Apparently,
Oregon's offensive coordinator. I don't know his name, but he's some Kentucky guy.
Apparently, Brian Hartline's brother played at Kentucky. Apparently, there's some ties there. I don't know. But if I'm him, I'm not leaving Ohio State for Kentucky. That seems dumb as hell.
Matt Patricia.
Is that real, or are you just saying that?
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, because, that would be crazy, too. It is pretty funny that Kentucky waited until their dream coach had a new job before they did this move, though. For the guy that coached for them or played for them.
Some are all of taking Kentucky, even if,
No, I don't think so.
Even if Kentucky and Florida were both open at the same time, I still think he's taking Florida.
Well, see, that's the thing. Open at the same time, you're probably right. But if Kentucky, you knew Stoops was getting fired this year. If they had moved in September and like told Summerall from the get-go, you're our guy, and we're going to have this package for you, we're going to have this offer for you, we're going to make sure that you have every resource. And again, you're our guy. You're not our backup choice. You're our dream job. You're our dream candidate. They would have had a better chance than like dragging their feet into October or November when everybody's doing it. Even if they had been out like 2 weeks ago and Florida's like not really prioritizing Summerall at all, maybe they could have swooped in. Maybe. But no, probably not. Nor should they have. Last call on the other side. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
Is that old tree in your yard starting to lean a little too much? Branches hanging over your roof? Don't wait until it's too late. Call ECR Total Landscapes today. At ECR Total Landscapes, we specialize in safe, professional tree removal, trimming, and storm damage cleanup. So if you've got trees that need to go, now is the time to give us a call. Plus, we're offering free stump grinding now through the end of the year when you use or mention promo code FANRUN. That's right, free stump grinding for Fan Run Radio listeners. At ECR Total Landscapes, we live up to our name by offering total landscape services. In addition to tree cutting, we also offer a wide range of landscape installation services and custom monthly maintenance packages that create stunning outdoor spaces tailored to your vision. Give us a call today to schedule a free estimate at 865-384-2012 or just visit us online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Are you thinking of buying a home but don't know where to start? Well, call VFL Josh Travis, your local mortgage expert with Foundation Mortgage, based right here in Knoxville. Whether it's your first home or your forever home, he'll keep the process simple every step of the way. To get started, visit mortgagebrokerjosh.com or call 423-312-9777 today. Foundation Mortgage Company, LLC is an equal opportunity housing company. NMLS number 1387311.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced. Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Gotta be honest, Sam, Bubba, the answers to my question a little bit higher than I thought.
What do we got?
You know, you got a couple of failing grades, or at least under 50. You know, Steven says 47, but it's 68, 65 to 70, and then says with a good staff and offseason changes would raise it quite a bit. 75, 71, all things considered, he hasn't been terrible. Now you got a couple of, you know, somebody's like, hey, anywhere between 55 and 65. 44 and a half, I think, is the lowest number so far.
Mine would definitely go up with some, staff changes and portal additions, depending on where it's at, type of thing.
Did you like the defense last season?
I did.
I don't think it's Tim Banks. I don't think he suddenly forgot how to, just do everything that happened the season before. But also, I could say that with the rest of our offense.
Well, my question about Tim Banks in 2024, Bubba, would be like, who did he actually do it to? It goes along with the same line of what we were talking about with the schedule and wins. Like,
we gave up a lot of points to a lot of teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, 24, I don't think we gave up a lot of points to a lot of teams. I just think that, like, we shut down some pretty bad teams. Like, it got swept under the rug, but we gave up a game-tying touchdown to DJ Lagway with, like, 40 seconds left on a drive that you should have been able to shut down. And we gave up a bomb that, that tied that game. Shout out to my boy DK. But, like, that one looks differently if they go for two, especially if they get it and win. Arkansas, you didn't really get the stop in the fourth quarter when you needed. Now, overall, your numbers don't look bad in that game, but again, Arkansas was pretty terrible last year. You shut down Jalen Milroe, which I don't know if that was an accomplishment or not, but like when it mattered, your top 10 defense that you put on, you said was so great, couldn't really get stops when it mattered. Couldn't stop Georgia in the second half. Couldn't stop Ohio State at all. So again, I'm fine with firing Tim Banks. I would probably say, is that the one move that everyone would be on board with? Like that would be the one move everybody would be the most fired up about, right?
Special teams coordinator.
That's not going to move the needle like Banks. Now, don't get me wrong, the special teams coordinator wasn't very good this year. Especially sucked, on Friday I was watching Nebraska, Iowa, and Nebraska didn't really have anything for him without Raiola, but like Eckler had a big play where he called like a pooch kickoff that they ended up recovering. That was basically an onside kick at the 25-yard line. He's going crazy. I was like, man, I remember when our special teams was good. So like people want to upgrade that too. Don't get me wrong, Bubba, but I don't think that moves the needle anywhere near. Like everyone would be pretty fired up if you got a new defensive coordinator. Now we've had that in the past not work out for people. Hey, Bob Shoop didn't fix the Vols in 2016. You know what I mean? Like Bob Shoop didn't do anything differently. Defense still got shredded when it mattered. Sal Sinceri in 2012, you know about the failures he had. So like getting a new coordinator can't be the end all be all fix at all times. 59, the lowest I've been since heading into overtime at Pitt in 2022. Hope he can sway me now like he did then.
I think the biggest thing for me in the whole like Banks or just like who you got to fire conversation is just like going on year 5 of just we haven't played complimentary football a single season yet here.
No.
It's like
we played it for like 3 possessions on Saturday where I was getting pretty fired up. Where you hit the deep ball to Brazel, then you get a pick, then you get a touchdown. You're like, hell yes, that's the way it's supposed to work. And then you got a complimentary ass whipping after that.
It's just been like, hey, you got an elite offense in 21 and 22. Well, your defense is going to suck. You're going to have to go score 50 points to go beat people. 23, the offense takes a little bit of a step back, but you improve on defense in 23 and 24. And then 25, you feel like this is the year for it all to come together. And then you just continue to not be able to.
I just don't know how that gets better though, Sam, because the offense has to go fast to be effective. It's not good otherwise. Pay Pig for Vols writes in 35. He's been ass for 3 years now, John. Do not let the piggies beat you over the head with that Mickey Mouse playoff bid either. We all know last year's team was fraudulent beyond belief. I said in the first hour, I think it was that, I do think the quarterback narrative has to die. You've gotten bad quarterback, or you've gotten average at best quarterback play the last 3 years. You could save the SEC stats. I don't care. We all watched with our eyes. We had average quarterback play this year. I don't know if I can say we've been ass for 3 years, but there are 2 8-4 seasons sandwiched in a 10-2 season that you didn't really beat anybody. Other than Alabama, but that Alabama team we know got beat by Vandy and beat by a pretty bad Oklahoma team. But I'm not going to turn my nose up at a win against Alabama, but still. Tampa Ball says he's at a 10.
Out of 10.
Been down bad this weekend. He's been. But is maybe we get a bowl game.
Sounds like he doesn't want to go.
40 could temporarily go up if he finds the balls to fire an assistant, but he's not been coaching to win since 2022, so not sure it would matter anyway. And maybe I don't want to end the show this way, but I guess I got to, because I can't help but think that all of this change in Josh Heupel is because of what Eli Drinkwitz did to him in 2023. I think Eli Drinkwitz broke Josh Heupel. And I hate giving Missouri that type of credit. But we've seen a completely different coach since then. He used to run the score up on teams. Then he had it happen to him. 2024, super conservative, not running the score up. 2025, super conservative. I think that dork Drinkwitz broke him.
Bully got bullied.
I think that's what happened. I'm sure we'll talk more about it tomorrow. The Tony Basilio Show. Oh, boy, these callers are going to be fired up today on the Basilio Show. You can listen here, right here on Fan Run Radio. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Tony's got you for now.
Take Fan Run Radio with you on the all-new Fan